Hi, I'm Nadia Combs, Chair of the Hillsborough County School Board. I want to welcome you to Hillsborough County Public Schools. We serve more than 200,000 students. That includes children in preschool through adults in our workforce program.
I'm Henry Shake Washington, the Board Vice Chair. Our district is the 7th largest in America, and our team is made up of more than 24,000 people working at nearly 250 sites across the county.
Our district is diverse and dedicated. Our board meetings are held in our board auditorium on select Tuesdays at 4 p.m. The best way to serve our students and our community is to involve you, the public, in what we do.
You are welcome to email or meet with any of our board members and follow our district on social media. Board meetings are covered live by Hillsborough Schools TV on Spectrum Cable Channel 635 and Frontier Cable Channel 32.
Meetings are also streamed live on our website at hillsboroughschools.org. Closed captioning is provided on all broadcasts, and past meetings are available in our online archive.
We are interested in what the public has to say. We'll include time for audience comments before we address our business items. Our agenda and any supporting materials can be viewed online in advance. They are posted 7 days before each meeting on our website at hillsboroughschools.org.
Our vision is preparing students for life, and that means all students, every day. Todos los estudiantes, todos los días. Thank you for your interest in education. With your help, we're making decisions that shape our community's future.
The board meeting of July 11, 2023 is called to order. Member Washington will now lead us in a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you, Member Washington. We have no withdrawn items today. I need a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. I have a motion by Member Gray, and I have a second by Member Washington. Any discussion? Please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. Let the record reflect that all board members are present with the exception of Member Vaughn. Board members, I would like to go over the format of today's meeting. As a reminder, we're a nonpartisan board who believe that all children can be empowered to learn to succeed, and our decisions will be made with that understanding. To pave the way for efficient and effective agenda statements and/or questions, board members will have 5 minutes to speak with 30 seconds for final thoughts. Afterward, the superintendent can respond. If you have further questions, you're asked to get back into the queue. Member Washington will now review the board guidelines.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As we begin this afternoon meeting, let me quickly review the format of our school board meetings. Please silence all electronic devices. There are speakers in the room behind me that allow board members to hear the meeting upon stepping away from the dais. This meeting can be viewed with closed caption on live webcasts, on cable TV, on video monitors here in the auditorium. It also can be viewed with closed caption in the online video archives.
Thank you, Member Washington. We have 2 items scheduled for time certain, and that's 5:01 public hearing and 6 o'clock employee input. For public comment, the board welcomes comments from citizens and values your input to the board. In order to provide the most comprehensive response for your comments, our staff will follow up with you and will keep our board informed about the responses. Our school board respects the public's right to speak to the board, and we appreciate you taking the time to be here. However, it is requested when you address the board, comments are not directed personally against a board member or staff member, but rather directed at the issues. Any behavior intended to interrupt the orderly conduct of this meeting will not be allowed. Our civility policies in place. When addressing the board, please state your name and speak clearly into the microphone. This afternoon, each speaker will have 3 minutes. A reminder that your 3 minutes start when you begin speaking. When there are 30 seconds left, you'll see a yellow light on the lectern, a red light, and a chime will indicate when your time is up. If the first 5 speakers will please come up against the wall, and the first speaker, if you'll come up.
Good afternoon. My name is Antonio Anisi. A few weeks ago, our chair questioned why suddenly parents and residents are raising issues about things that apparently have never been a problem in the past. One extremely likely possibility is that over the last 2 years, we keep shining the light on the true colors of the school board and bringing to the surface all of the undermining moves some members are pulling. For example, the board voted 4-3 to remove This Book is Gay from all middle schools due to its obscene and grotesque material for minors, more specifically middle schoolers. Where did those books go that were removed? Well, they were just moved to 2 new high schools to be seen by even more minors, but just in another grade. How is it more appropriate to teach 10th graders how to have gay sex than it is to teach 7th to 8th graders? They are both underage. Hosting these meetings during normal business hours when most parents are working excludes the parents that desire to shine the light on your wrongdoings in person. Residents that attend and speak on issues like this that do not have children in the schools might have grandchildren or other relatives. They are advocating for them. Practice being inclusive to all residents like some of you like to preach and accommodate those that cannot voice their opinions in person. As a tip for those seeking re-election in about a year, think hard about how you play your cards with issues like this. It's quite apparent you think very little of the public comment emails you receive from parents that can't attend, since I have personally never heard any email submission discussed at any meeting I have attended in person online. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, members of the board. Debbie Hunt, Hillsborough County Citizens Defending Freedom. I have a couple of issues to reference tonight. The first being the proclamation on the Minority Mental Awareness Month. It specifically says minority. And I think if you look at your own information, you'll see that the numbers have been changing over the years. And actually, the percentages are 38% Hispanic, 31% white, and 20% black. So I think that if you want to move forward with a mental health awareness proclamation, it would make sense to move forward with it for all children, not just minorities. On agenda item 1.09, this is an agenda item to select a couple of civics literacy curriculum. The first one listed on the invoice that has been provided by Florida Transformation Education is specific. This curriculum is specifically on the Florida Department of Education's not approved list. So I find it very interesting that you would be moving forward with actually purchasing it. On agenda item 1.10, where you're purchasing using federal funds from the Teachers Curriculum Institute, you also have an item that's on there. It's the Government Alive, Power, Politics, and You, and that also is specifically on the FDOE's not approved list. On the math curriculum, the 1.11 agenda item, I'm surprised that you're moving forward with this item. Yes, you had a public hearing last meeting on this one, and in that public hearing you had one of your own teachers tell you that it was not to the standards, and I have also checked the FDOE math curriculum approval list, and this is not on that list. The final item, excuse me, the final item 9.06, which is a memorandum of agreement with the University of South Florida and the Children's Board for the CARE, Child Adult Relationship Enhancement Program. I'm a little concerned about this one because you're taking information data about the students that's been gathered through the Panorama program and providing it to another outside source to the Hillsborough County District. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the new superintendent. My name is Julie Gebhards, and I'm here to, again, talk about the books, and you might wonder why I keep coming, because it seems like virtually nothing has happened. I know a few of you, a couple of you have actually talked about the books in board meetings, but like Antonio was saying, I mean, I come and I say some of the most graphically explicit things, and I see very few times have there been even discussions about it. And then the workshop has been put off like 3 times, I think, since December. Not even a workshop to discuss the way that all of these horrific books have made it into the libraries. That's a little frustrating as a parent. So I would like to issue an explicit content warning if there's any minors in here. Well, the reason I keep coming is because I feel like someone needs to shine a light into the deep, deep darkness that's in our school libraries, and to help people and parents understand that they have got to be aware of this and move toward the light and get out of that dark pit. The sexualization of children is a deep, dark pit that needs to be exposed. Children need to be protected, and parents need to retain their right to protect their own children from these library landmines of pornography. When you don't know what's in the book, you can't say parents have the right to protect their children from books. They don't know. When they check a book out from the library, it doesn't say explicit content warning. It should, but it doesn't. So these books should not be in school libraries. They should remain available to any adults outside of schools, because we live in America. It's a free country, but not in schools. So my concern is for the excessive sexualization of children, because it dismantles their natural defenses, it desensitizes them from predatory sexual behavior, and it puts them at great risk. Their defenses come down, and they have the risk of being attacked by predators sexually. So let's do a little review of some of the books in the last few minutes that I have. This is really shameful and embarrassing to do this, to show you this again. This book is called Blankets. I've actually printed pictures of these pages. This is a boy and a girl engaging in sex. You can see her nude and his mouth over her breast, among other things in this. But this book also attacks Christianity, brutally attacks Christianity. And then, of course, like Antonio pointed out, this book is gay, which has 5 steps for how to use a sex app, plus multiple other despicable things in there. Group sex, orgies, saunas, sex saunas, things like that, still in our high school libraries. Burned, which I mentioned to you before, first encounter of sex with, she was drunk with her boyfriend. And that's beside the rest of it, which she plans her murder spree at the end, which I brought to you at the last board meeting. And I'm out of time. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. And if the next 5 speakers will please line up.
Hello, my name is Nick Scattini. I'm here to ask you to have these meetings at 6 o'clock, so this way parents, like the lady who was just before me, can attend. And if this board truly believes that parents should be involved, then give them an opportunity to show up. If they're working during the course of the day and they cannot afford to take the time off to see you people, then you should afford them the opportunity to do that, and to do that at 6 p.m. I also want to piggyback on top of what Debbie just said. You know, why are you voting on including in the curriculum something that's not approved by the Florida Department of Education. In my humble opinion, the board is going beyond its authority to do that. Take from what the people have spoken about and not have these votes. It's not approved by, this curriculum is not approved by the Florida Department of Education. So why are you guys voting on it to get it in? And also about the mental health, there are so many things that do not, what they do is they separate people out. Why can't we talk in issues of people as American citizens as a whole, instead of dividing them up into this group, that group, this other group, blacks, Hispanics, whites, Jews, Islamics? We're all Americans here. So why can't we approach an issue and include American citizens and do that to include everybody as one? Because we are all just Americans here, okay? And these issues are so divisive. When you divide people up into groups, it just makes those groups having issues with each other. Let's not do that anymore. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is R.L. Hill. I'm a resident of Hillsborough County. I, too, would like to ask the board to change their meeting hours for the exact same reason that my previous associate stated, to allow parents the opportunity that actually work for a living to be able to attend a meeting, and 6 o'clock start time would afford them to do that. Next, this is directed to the communist members of the board. We have absolutely no confidence, none, nil, zip, in your ability to take care of our children when some of these people have been coming out here for months telling you and reading excerpts of these books that you are allowing in the public school system of Hillsborough County. It's appalling, it's disgusting, and I'm here to put you all on notice, referring to those communist members of the party, that you will be held accountable come the next election for school board members. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Ken Doherty. I'm in Hillsborough County. Classroom instructions by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3. I'd like to speak today about my concerns regarding books and education materials in our school and their impact on the children's short and long-term development, and how this material may not be in conformance with Florida state laws. The children I'm speaking of have not yet fully reached the age of reason. That age is defined as the age at which a person is considered capable of distinguishing between right and wrong. The government has passed various laws to protect these individuals. These include labor laws, online privacy, prohibitions of purchasing and or possessing many different items. There are books in our school library which, in my view, have potentially harmful impact on someone that has not yet reached the age of reason and is often in conflict with the values of that child's family. One of the books I'm referring to is It Feels Good to Be Yourself, a book about gender identity. The story purports to represent ideas that would be most helpful to children who are the students in our classrooms. The idea of the curriculum is to guide and support the children, learning and engage them in a meaningful way. The recommended study guide for these 6 and 7-year-olds asks them to discuss how the subject of the story is feeling. Why do the children feel this way? The teacher is going to be asking these children, why are they feeling this way? And what does a gender identity mean to a 6-year-old? The purpose of the book is to help the child learn about gender identity of themselves, their friends, and their family. The book also includes additional terms that a 6-year-old has to learn, such as side gender and non-binary. In thinking about this, we need to reflect on the 3 groups that are most responsible for our children: the parents, the schools, and the school board most of all. A parent's role in their children's learning evolves as a child grows. However, one thing does remain constant. The parents are their child's learning model. It is the parents' attitudes on education that inspire and encourage the children to learn. Parents are the role models for their learning in the early years, and they are the child's first teacher. I'd like to thank everybody today for letting me be here, and I would really ask you again to consider whether these instructions, the books that I've mentioned, meet the requirements of the state law. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. Tim McGahee from Tampa. So this board has been beset by a number of people that claim various books in the school's library inventory are pornographic or have no educational value. And first of all, pornography is intended to titillate or excite. I can say that not once have any of these speakers managed to excite me in that way. In fact, they have accused one of you of sleeping, so I think we can safely assume that their readings weren't as exciting as they had found them. But I'm not going to shame their kink. These passages, they seem to have really excited these readers in a different way. Some come back week after week to do book reports for you. And, so I could say that this content, it clearly got them interested in reading. And some have even been proud to say that they have read the rest of the book too. If this content is getting them to read entire books, then clearly it is serving a purpose other than mere titillation. I know that several board members have encouraged reading within the district, so we should embrace these adults who are now embracing and sharing this philosophy with the rest of us. I yield my time.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon, Speaker, new interim superintendent, Tina Williams-Brewster, parent, advocate. We meet again. I like to say moving forward, a lot of things are changing, but let's not forget about resources. Let's remember, board members, that resources should be available for all children day one, not day 3, not the typical month, 6 weeks out, day one. So 504 IEP, Mr. Hickman, I'm going to call you out. That's your department. Let's make sure your people are doing what they need to do so that I can be a mom, that I don't have to make all these calls. So I'm really hopeful that moving forward, our kids get the resources that they need. I shouldn't be the ESC coordinator. I shouldn't be the case manager, which things were moving great. We had an IEP meeting. My case manager for my child never followed through. Let's make sure these things don't keep happening. As we move forward to the foundations that have been laid, let's remember who we work for, why we're out here fighting for the students, not for you to line your pockets with the students' money. It's for the students. Let's get those resources to students. We've closed all these schools. We're realigning these boundaries. Let's realign the resources for the students. When is Hillsborough County going to raise the standard of excellence? One more thing. Why, board members, why do you constantly keep voting for things that are not approved? When are we going to be proactive and not continue to be upside down? Demand greatness. Let's compete nationally. I'm going to say it again. I've been here 8 years. I'm used to filet mignon. Quite frankly, I'm tired of bologna for our school system.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. And if the next few speakers can please line up.
Alan Brewster. Hello to everyone. I want to keep asking, what is the standard and what is the expectations for Hillsborough County Public Schools? What is it? Because I haven't seen it, and I haven't experienced it, nor have my kids. My son is an 8th grader at Franklin Middle School, and I've been hearing rumors that they're trying to eliminate that school. I'm going to say this. Principals, not all principals, drive out good teachers consistently. And last year they lost the law program and they didn't replace it with anything. Where is the robust programs? When are these schools going to be competitive and teach these kids how to be competitive globally, not just Florida, globally? And I just don't see it. I don't know what's the next superintendent going to bring, but there are a lot of systemic issues in this school system, and they need to be addressed before you can even hire another superintendent. Because if the systemic issues continue, do you think that person is going to stay a long time? No. Get rid of the systemic issues in this school system. I look at my daughter at Gaither. They barely check IDs when the students come in. What's the dress code there? It's very vague. I mean, they should have once a month mandatory that the students get out in the community and clean up the community. Mandatory. They should have one day a week where the students have to wear the school shirt to show pride in their school. What are they teaching these students? Nothing. They're not teaching them to have pride in their school, in their community. When will Hillsborough County set the standard, a high standard and high expectations? When? When will it happen? Robust schools, robust programs. Don't tear them down and let it keep going down. Replace it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Mayosha Powell. I live in Hillsborough County, and today is July 11th. It commemorates a day where in the streets of Cuba there was a protest, and the people were out there fighting for their freedom. A dictatorial regime shut that down. I want to do this in honor of them. So as a result of a FOIA request, on February 14th, I want to read this to you. This was a correspondence sent to a sitting school board member. And it says, it is my honor to have the opportunity to host a dinner for the Honorable Linnaeus Torres Rivera, the Cuban charge d'affaires to the United States, which is the Cuban ambassador. I would like to personally invite you to attend this dinner Friday, March 3rd at 6:30 p.m. at Mise and Place in Tampa. Additional details are attached. This was as a result of a FOIA request that we were able to obtain this information. I want to go on to say that on March 3rd, that dinner was attended. And it was also attended not only by the school board member that's sitting here today, but it was also attended by the ambassador and many other people. So it wasn't by accident. It wasn't by happenstance. They full well knew that this was going to happen and managed to be there. I want to also go into the Cuban intelligence, our FBI put together a risk assessment. They understood, and Cuba understands, that there's a vulnerability in our academia. They are targeting our academia. So to have a sitting school board member sitting at this meeting with the ambassador to Cuba is a concern to everybody in here. This is not a left or right issue. This is an American issue. At the start of this meeting, I saw, as we all stood and put our hands upon our hearts, we pledged allegiance to that flag, which is the United States flag. We didn't pledge our allegiance to any other flag, just that flag. I want to go further to say that Cuba is still on the list for state-sponsored terrorism. They're still there. We know that they sponsor terrorism. The idea that we would have somebody, again, a sitting school board member, meeting with this person to go ahead and discuss, I can only imagine, is inappropriate. To say it's inappropriate is really the minimum of all the things that it is. So I want to say this. I want to say that, again, this is an American issue. The children here of Hillsborough County deserve better. We deserve better than someone who is willing to engage with the enemy. And I am calling out Karen Perez and asking you to resign.
This is not about attacking board members. I have the right. So keep their comments about the issues and not attack individual board members or staff.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. And just as a reminder, our civility policy is in place. Next speaker, please.
Afternoon, board. This is my first time actually coming to a meeting. My name is Patrick Bailey. I am a parent of 2 daughters here in Hillsborough County. The oldest is going to be going into 10th grade, and the other is going into middle school, 6th grade. I have a few concerns. As you have heard from others, I will echo them. One, our meetings do need to be changed till 6 o'clock. There would be a lot more people here in support and in actively involved in what is going on at 6 o'clock because they're out working. I had to take off work early and get permission to come here to be here at my first meeting, whereas if it was at 6 o'clock, I wouldn't have had to do that. The parents and the citizens here should not have to worry about taking off work to come to a regular meeting. Second, I will echo what another speaker said about the proclamation in regards to the mental health awareness, the Mental Health Awareness Month. Why would we put minorities? Why would we talk about a video that I saw up here with every one of you up there speaking, and one person said, we represent all students. Minority is not all. It should be all students. There is no difference in any particular race, color, or anything that regards to mental illness. Mental illness hits everybody. They all need addressed. They all need attention for that. And lastly, if I were to walk over to this fine gentleman over here, this officer, and punch him, I would get thrown in jail because that is illegal. I know that. How could I have illegal books of pornographic nature that is illegal for minors to read in a school library? I am terrified of my daughter going to middle school and having access to these books being given to her by an adult, a superior, someone who's saying, I know what's best for you because I'm here to teach you and tell you that you can have this book and read it, when that is completely false because it's illegal. They can't walk in and buy a Playboy. They can't go to a strip club. They can't go and buy alcohol. They can't vote. They can't get cigarettes. They can't do any of those things until they reach a certain age. Let adults have it. Someone up here talked about how adults have been reading these books, and that's great. The purpose of these books. He kind of shot himself by saying, adults. We have no problem with adults reading these books. Read to your heart's content. Go to the strip club. Go get all the pornographic books and things you want to get. Get the movies. Do whatever you want to do once you're 18. If you're in the school system, you're a minor. Let's keep the illegal things out. Let's get this thing back on track. Let's get the school board put to the position where we are actually caring about our children and not just pretending that we actually care about our children. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Kurt Thorson. I'm a teacher here in Hillsborough for 13 years, 15 overall. I've taught in multiple schools, made relationships with hundreds of colleagues, teachers, admins, parents, and students. We're all aware of the new rules in Tallahassee that they're levying down on all the counties. We have to be in accordance with those, but I'm here for an HCPS policy that has been on the books for years. And if you've been around schools, I've observed, and a lot of people have observed, a disturbing trend. It's the lack of enforcement of the school board approved student code of conduct pertaining to dress code. 2 years ago, I was invited to a workshop in this room to discuss the student code of conduct with other teachers and admins across Hillsborough. My breakout session focused on dress code. While workshopping, I thought to myself, these revisions are pointless if they're not enforced. For the 23-24 student code of conduct for secondary schools, it states clothing that exposes the entire shoulder, tube tops, spaghetti straps, or similar type of clothing may only be worn with a blouse or shirt. Clothing exposing the torso or the midriff, either front, back, or side, shall not be worn. Underwear shall not be visible. Clothing shall not expose the mid-chest area. Clothing not properly fastened with tears that are indecent shall not be worn. Clothing traditionally designed as undergarments or sleepwear shall not be worn as outer garments. All pants and shorts shall be secured at the waist. Boys' shirts shall have sleeves. Mini skirts, mini dresses, and short shorts shall not be permitted. Hemlines shall not be shorter than fingertip length. This is not a Hillsborough exclusive issue. Pasco recently made news a couple months ago about their problem with it, so it's not just here. But you go by a bus stop or watching students come to or from school, you'll see the problem in the flesh. And I know that you guys see it too, because when I'm at school and I've seen you make your site visits, you see as clearly as I do. It is the responsibility of schools to enforce the district's rules and protocols. After innumerable conversations with colleagues and parents across Hillsborough, enforcement is not where it should be. Our schools are a place of business and learning. The district and all its schools, specifically secondary schools, need to get a handle on this problem. A school is not a mall, a beach, a pool, a gym, or Bayshore Boulevard. Dress code is also a safety issue. When students are permitted to wear hats and hoods around schools, they cannot be identified by cameras or by staff themselves. Head coverings shall not be worn in the buildings unless required for religious observance or health-related reasons. So I implore the board to provide guidance and enforcement to all of its schools. If we are truly preparing students for life, like this marquee says, students should be held to a reasonable expectation to abide by the rules and guidelines set forth by the district. So again, enforcement is not happening, and the students know it. They tell each other, you won't be dress coded. So please, school board members and superintendent, as we begin the school year in 30 days, I plead with you to commune with your schools to enforce what is already on the books and hold students to a reasonable expectation in imposing an appropriate workplace and learning
Thank
environment.
you. Sorry. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tamara Perez, and my son is a rising third grader. Some of you may have seen my video that circulated around a couple months ago recapping a recent school meeting where the principal fully intended to remove ABA services from all autistic children school-wide. My son was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3 and immediately started ABA therapy. My son has had to learn basic human functions that other parents wouldn't even notice as a milestone for their typically developing children. ABA has helped my son learn to communicate appropriately, to have eye contact, joint attention, and even help potty train him. At age 4, ABA helped him learn to dress, wash his hands, and how to sit during circle time. At age 5, ABA worked on sensory issues like wearing a hat, sunglasses, and a mask on his face during COVID. At age 6, ABA taught my son how to ask friends to play on the playground so that he wouldn't be left on the sidelines. At age 7, ABA taught my son how to raise his hand and speak in front of his peers. And today, at age 8, his social improvements in speech and language are noticeably different. For the first time, he's able to tell me something about his day. He has not 1, but 6 best friends, and he's thriving because ABA was with him, cheering him on during some of his most anxiety-filled moments. ABA therapy is generally provided by the parent free to the district. Yet ABA is being removed and therapy denied to our most vulnerable. In a district that is underfunded, understaffed, EC positions cannot be filled, and IEPs are not being followed, where our special needs children are being underserved. If a child with a physical disability needed a wheelchair, would you allow a principal to remove that child's wheelchair and ask them to walk? ABA is my son's wheelchair. If my son's ABA were removed, everything we worked for would plummet, and so would his grades and his confidence. When ABA is with him in school, he's able to focus, stay on task, lower his anxiety, thrive in social environments, and so much more. But because my son has an invisible disability, you believe that it's fair to leave this decision up to the principal or the teacher against medical advice from neurologists, psychologists, and developmental pediatricians. These children deserve to have this therapy provided to them in school in a natural and organic classroom environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brian Perez, and I'm a current Hillsborough County teacher. But today I'll be taking that hat off, and I'll be talking to you as a dad. The current law states that ABA services must be permitted on school campuses. However, the student's teacher and principal must consent to that time and place. This one line is the loophole that principals are using to discriminate against our special needs children to remove or deny their therapy. At the last school board meeting on June 20th, the board spoke out in support of the LGBTQ community, as they should absolutely be supported. Member Vaughn, you said the school board of Hillsborough County supports the right of every student to experience equality, equity, and freedom from right of every a student to experience, and they shouldn't have any discrimination. You said that if a child does not feel safe, that they aren't going to be able to focus on their schoolwork and therefore not succeed. Member Perez, you said humans are better off when they can see themselves reflected in our society and feel like they truly belong. Member Hahn, you said by fostering an environment of open-mindedness, empathy, and kindness, we can create a space where individuals feel heard and understood and respected. Member Gray, you said the welfare and well-being of our students is our number one priority as school board members. And Mr. Washington, you said, could you imagine me discriminating against a member of the LGBTQ as a principal? Well, other principals in our district are doing just that. By using this loophole, I ask you to reflect inwards today. You say these things, but what are your actions showing? Do our special needs children feel accepted, supported, and included? When you remove their therapy, today we are asking the board to show love and compassion, to show that we are inclusive and accepting, and to show our districts are surrounding us in our state that we are going to remove this loophole and truly be an inclusive county. Member Vaughn, you said acceptance is important because chances of us knowing someone that is from the LGBTQ community, it might be our friends, it might be our neighbors, and if we have a bunch of kids, it's probably one of them. I agree, we need to be accepting because chances are someone we know in this community has autism. It's our friends, it's our neighbors, and if we have kids, it's probably one of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, I'm short. Sorry, one second. My name's Caitlin Peterson. I'm a board certified behavior analyst working here in the Tampa Bay region. I'm also a clinical director for an ABA company in the region. I wanted to come today and talk to you all regarding the ABA services in school. I have personally provided services to clients in many different areas: clinics, homes, community, and schools. And we're all here today because we have one focus, and that's our kids. Whether you have, as people have said, grandkids or your own kids, we want them to be able to learn, grow, be safe, have fun, and make connections with others. The goals I've just listed are a lot of times taken for granted. Kids who are of typical development can achieve those skills really naturally, whereas kids on the autism spectrum, they need assistance. Many of them need guidance. However, just because assistance is required does not make those goals any less important or necessary for them. I, as a clinician, have brought clients, I'm brought into these clients' lives because these doctors deem my services medically necessary for the client's growth and development. The only way myself and my other providers can provide these services with great effect is to provide them in a multitude of locations to best generalize their skills. Access to schools is crucial for ABA providers and for the client's success. We are seeking to provide these medically necessary services in a manner that's effective and successful for everyone involved. I have immense respect for the teachers who work with these kids, and the parents do as well, as they do on a daily basis, and I seek to coordinate care with them the best I can because they desperately need our services in those schools to succeed. I would like to ask a question just for some food for thought of what is the criteria the principals are using to determine eligibility for ABA providers in schools? As far as I know, there's not a criteria, and it's kind of just whether the principal wants to or not. At least that's my phone calls with the principals. That's my phone calls within communications with the providers, unfortunately. And then also, if multiple clinicians have deemed this necessary, would it not be the wisest decision to go based on what has been medically necessary for the kid? What is deemed medically necessary by, again, neurologists, clinicians, so many people. I know you all are trying to do your best to prepare students. I see that here, and this is my first meeting, so I see preparing students for life, and that's amazing. That's my job. That's what my goal is. I can't do that if I'm not there. I absolutely cannot. And I really am just seeking to coordinate care with teachers, and as so many ABA providers are. So thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Amanda Curran. I am a therapist in private practice, and my son Noah is a rising second grader at Mabry Elementary. Noah has a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder, which requires the presence of his ABA therapist in order for him to receive a free and appropriate public education. Presently, the school district provides my son with a para. They lack the skill set and education required of the board-certified behavioral analyst and registered behavioral technician that work with my son. And it is not just my opinion regarding Noah's needs. The ABA presence is deemed medically necessary by his physician. It is not lost on the mothers of this community that there is a loophole in the current law. That said, the district is not honoring the spirit of collaboration in which the law was written. By refusing access of ABA therapists on campus, the district is acting in bad faith and preventing our children from receiving an appropriate public education. While it costs the district nothing to allow these medically necessary providers into the school, keeping them out will become increasingly costly for the district. For example, my son regularly goes all day at school without eating a single thing. I'm in a due process right now for my son to be permitted to have the assistance of his ABA therapist during lunch. In recent months, the district has had to pay for an independent education evaluation, and you're currently paying your attorney to speak to my IEP advocate for an unresolved IEP since February. I can't speak to exactly how much the district has spent to keep my son from having outside support during lunch so he can eat, but it has cost me and my family $5,000 so far this year. So much for a free public education. It pains me to consider how much better used my time and money could be spent towards meeting my son's needs if the district would just be reasonable. Part of why we choose to live in this area is an expectation of the district and the education they provide to our children. The last thing we want for our public schools is bad press and further lawsuits. We just want our children to have access to what their doctors and their medical insurance company has deemed as being medically necessary for them. And while my husband could not be here today, Dr. Jason Curran wrote, "I am autistic. I am also a father of 2 autistic sons, one of whom is currently attending public school in the district. He requires ABA support during the school day, and my family have found it exceedingly difficult to get him what he needs to fully access a public education to which he has a right as much as any neurotypical child. The way the law is currently written allows the school to have their cake and eat it too. On the one hand, you could profess to support the disabled by allowing accommodations to a legally protected class. On the other, without any justification, you allow individual schools to deny those same accommodations. Suppose a child were confined to a wheelchair. Would you leave it to the principal's discretion as to whether or not the school should be wheelchair accessible? Denying autistic children ABA
Thank
support.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I know everybody is looking at each other. And Superintendent Ayers, I know you wanted to make a comment on that.
Yeah, thank you, Mrs. Combs. Dr. Hickman, if you could assist those families, please. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So Dr. Hickman will be talking to some of those families. Okay. Thank you. Next speaker. Okay. Yes. Yes. If you could just follow him to the back, some of the speakers that came prior. Oh yeah. Okay. We'll go through all the speakers, and then Dr. Hickman will speak to each of you. Okay. After we finish. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. That way he can work with everyone at one time. Okay. You can begin. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Jessica Southern, and I'm gathered here today with other like-minded individuals because we want ABA therapy in the classroom. My son needs ABA therapy in the classroom. My son has always been mainstreamed. No two autistic children look the same. Let me talk a little about my son. He is autistic. He is a genius. Let me explain the anxiety my son Augustine feels. Imagine a pit of stress in your stomach that does not go away. Imagine feeling the need to hang out in a bathroom or pretending you're sick to get out of social environments. Let's imagine a playground experience that feels like the Wild West. Kids are playing games, running around and screaming, but you have a student who doesn't know how to fit into that surrounding. It is not black and white. What has allowed him to be at the top of his class academically doesn't give him the same tools to understand social settings. When a ball on the playground accidentally hits him, he does not think it was an accident. He thinks it was on purpose. This is their weakness, reading others, understanding the dynamics of relationships. Not allowing ABA therapy in the most organic environment school is horrific. Your mission statement doesn't apply to my son, to provide an education and the supports that enable each student to excel as a successful and responsible citizen. His needs would be met with partnerships of ABA therapists, helping him grow as a successful and responsible citizen. Here is what a friend who is a teacher sent me. I have benefited from having an ABA therapist in the classroom. It not only provided the student with the support they need and deserve, but also allowed for the teacher to better understand and provide an inclusive and educational experience for their special needs student. The ABA therapist was able to provide insightful information to assist in lesson planning and daily engagement with those students. It relieved the teacher from the stresses that come with not being able to fully provide the much needed attention and guidance these children need and deserve. It provided this. It's essential to students with autism just as much as a non-English speaker needs an interpreter. ABA therapists are the translators of social norms and appropriate behavior. They are the bridge that better connects the relationships between student and teacher. I ask you take the time and visit the public schools you represent to meet kids with special needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Luz Barbie. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst, and I've been working in Hillsborough for over a decade with servicing the autistic community. I opened my practice because I work for so many places that it seemed to care just about the billing, about things that didn't matter. And when I opened my practice, I made the focus to advocate for the autistic community. I want everybody to know that I totally don't understand the reason why a principal will say no to us. I have many great experiences in the Hillsborough County schools, allowing us and making such a great progress, even making friends with the teacher at the end. I'm crying of how much progress a child have made. But when they close the door to us, there is nothing we can do. We can fight for observation if we have our yellow card, maybe for an hour, and that's it. And we tell the parents, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I cannot help you if I'm not there, right? And one of the reasons I think that principals think is that we're just an extra body telling their teachers what to do, and that's not the case. If we can erase that false presumption, we will be able to truly advocate for our students. When a school opens the door to us, the first thing I tell my ABA team and my RBTs is like, this is a school. We are guests in this school, and we're going to respect the teachers and everybody, and we're going to follow the instructions, and we're going to make sure that we are there to support the teacher because they need our help with those behavioral issues that unfortunately they cannot do because there's 18 students in their classroom, and a teacher cannot have 300 eyes. And we are those eyes that can advocate for these children. When a parent contacts me for ABA services, most of the time it's because they are struggling, their kids are struggling in school. They are desperate, they are lost, and what happened is this, like, I don't know what to do. Please tell me what to do. The schools say no. Can we go to private school? Do you have a list of private schools? And I'm like, yeah, there are a few, and the wait list is like 2 to 3 years. So I'm sorry, you have to homeschool your child, beating you in the afternoon at night because it's nothing we can do, right? Is this a fair response for a parent? No. ABA is based on the science of behavior. We strive to change and improve socially significant behavior, improve communication skills, social skills, and learning skills for the students to be truly a part of the classroom. Our main focus is to teach students the skill they need to succeed and be independent. And if the teacher focus should be on the classroom, on their team, and our focus is to give this teacher the skills and the confidence they need to fade out of the classroom and be able to be confident.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I think our last speaker, are there any other? I think this is our last speaker, or one more. Our last speaker. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Stitch, and I'm also a board certified behavior analyst, and I'm the owner of Above and Beyond Behavior Analysis. We provide ABA therapy services in-home, in schools, and in the community, and I really appreciate the opportunity to speak today regarding advocating for ABA support in our schools. ABA therapy is considered a medically necessary therapy, as many of the other parents and providers have mentioned today, for our special needs children, and focuses on increasing essential skills such as communicating wants and needs, social skills, and many more. I've had the privilege of implementing ABA therapy in several Hillsborough County schools, and I'm deeply appreciative of their collaboration in supporting our clients. I truly believe that special needs children have had the best success when everyone is on the same page. Since 2020, I have unfortunately noticed a decrease of ABA services being allowed in schools. Oftentimes, we are told that ABA therapists are only allowed a short observation, and that we are not allowed to work with the child directly in the classroom during instructional time. The Florida statute currently states that the students, teacher, and principal must consent to the time and place of ABA therapy in school. Due to this barrier and inconsistent interpretation in the statute, many families have been denied these supports and are left looking for schools with principals that do allow ABA or end up leaving the public school system entirely. I'm proposing that this policy be amended, and I have an alternative solution that I have seen firsthand to be successful. The BCBA would first conduct an initial observation if the child currently attends public school. Following the observation, an initial IEP collaboration meeting should take place. The IEP team would then review the specific interfering behaviors occurring, replacement goals, and recommended hours of support. If ABA support is recommended, the team would then come up with an appropriate schedule for ABA therapy. The BCBA should also provide a fading plan and send a monthly updated report to the IEP team, including data and any updated recommendations. This way, we're all collaborating as a team and working off of data-based decision-making. In summary, if we can work collaboratively as a team and use data, I truly believe that we will be setting up our special needs children for the best possible outcomes. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, our final speaker for tonight.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Gennaro Fardella. Call me Jerry. I'm a retired New York City public school teacher. I've subbed over here in over 100 schools up until around 2019, and we have some wonderful students. I want to urge the school board to possibly consider meeting at 6 o'clock so that additional parents and people that are stakeholders can attend the meetings. In addition to that, I just want to tell you, I finished reading this book, Flamer, by Curato, and I was completely shocked, and I had to put it down. When my friends told me about these kind of materials in the school system, I didn't believe it. But after reading this book, and you can get it at the Cleveland Elementary School, and there's a few other schools, I said something has to be done. I don't know if you can speed up the system to get rid of some of these books. And and the other issue is that there are some parents in Hillsborough County that are 100% in favor of the gay agenda. I am not, but I have people in my family that are, so this is a difficult thing to talk about. So there must be some way you can have some kind of collaboration, maybe have some kind of an opt-out policy where the parent approves that the student is allowed to read these books. similar to what's going on. And as witnessed today, there are so many problems in the school system. I'm sorry to say that this sexualization of children is something that has to be overcome. And I recently saw the movie The Sound of Freedom, and it's not exactly on that topic, but it's bad. And we have a big problem in the United States. Also, one other thing, there's anti-Catholic information in this book by Mark Curato. I believe it's on page 89. He talks about priests doing something to themselves, and I found this completely disgusting. And I'm an adult, and I realize that there are some people in the cloth that may not be living up to what they should. But to tell that to like impressionable junior high school kids, I found very disgusting. I know you probably have heard this before, but there must be some kind of compromise where you can let the parents get in on it and include everybody. And thank you for your time, and I'm sorry that I was nervous.
Thank you. And that concludes our public comment for today. And I know Dr. Hickman will be in the back with several parents that came with the ABA. Thank you so much. Give everybody a few minutes. And thank you to all the therapists who came here too. Okay, we will now move to the adoption proclamation, the National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, July 2023. Member Perez will be highlighting this proclamation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And it's my pleasure to read this proclamation. National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. Recognition of this month is important to bring awareness to the unique struggles that racial and ethnic minority communities face regarding mental illness. Our district is fortunate to have an outstanding student services department and school-based teams that address mental health concerns and promote emotional wellness to students, staff, and families. These teams recognize cultural diversity and work to provide appropriate support through counseling and providing families from a multitude of cultural backgrounds referrals to the appropriate community agency. Through education, Hillsborough County Public School will continue to decrease stigma, provide appropriate resources, and educate on the importance of culture when providing positive mental health.
Thank you very much, Member Perez. I need a motion, a second, to approve National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, July 2023. I have a motion by Member Perez. I have a second by Member Washington. Any discussion? Begin with Member Perez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mental health and behavioral health is critical and frequently under-addressed matter in racial and ethnic minority communities. Black, Latinos, American Indian, Alaska Natives, and Asian Americans are overrepresented in populations that are particularly at risk for mental health disorders. The disparities in mental health care are systematic and complex. Racial, ethnic, gender, and sexual minority groups experience negative mental health outcomes because of a variety of factors, including the following: inaccessibility of high-quality mental health care services, stigma surrounding mental health, discrimination, and overall lack of awareness about mental health. Board members and Superintendent, on Saturday, July 15th, East Tampa is going to be holding a health fair at Middleton High School starting at 9. And I will be speaking on the topic of mental health in our underserved, underrepresented communities, and from noon to 12:30. And I would love for our community to come out and hear more on how to take care of your mental well-being.
Thank you, Member Perez. Member Gray.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Member Perez. I just thought about the proclamation for a bit, and I know that, as the first line says, the mental health is a very complex and can be not in an equitable or delivered in an equitable way. However, my thanks go to our mental health team, Holly, Saya, and to those individuals who just spend so many hours above and beyond the time of a workday. And regarding minority versus all, I have to say that I've never seen it divided in a minority versus all. But I will say that and Van Ayers, Superintendent Van Ayers, you have to know that our team is working very hard addressing the Hispanic needs, and in fact just came up with a trauma-based care response for our Hispanic families and the students. So the relevancy that our district is doing for, at least I'll speak for the Hispanic, is very real. And I also want to thank them for contributing to the Hillsborough Healthy Schools, which they do monthly. So all in all, I always wanted to, just speaking just aloud here in a comfortable way, why we have more staff on curriculum versus mental health. Because if we have mentally healthy children, they're apt to do better in school in so many ways. So, I think the challenge is at least even Stevens on that. But at any rate, thanking again the mental health team. And thank you, Member Perez.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Rendon?
Yeah, I think it's important as we look at different proclamations as we go forward, and it's important to recognize that part of the proclamation is the staff, the commitment that our schools have to our students. And so I want to take this opportunity with this particular proclamation to absolutely thank our mental health team. Being part of a community that addresses, in my other job, addresses a lot of mental health issues, a lot of disability issues. I don't think people would actually believe you when you told them all the stories in which you deal with on a day-to-day basis. Stories that you take home with you, situations that you don't forget. And so I want to take this opportunity to really highlight our school counselors, our health services, our psychologists, and our school social workers for everything they do on a daily basis for all of our students. I think it's critically to understand that no matter what we do in our daily lives, they pick up the pieces outside of our school days in order for our students to come and get a very good education from our teachers. And so I thank them for the extra work that they put into every single day for our students. And I think that's what needs to be highlighted today, the work that our staff do on a regular basis to make sure all of our students are healthy, they're safe, and they're able to come to our classrooms and truly learn what they need to learn to be successful in their life. So thank you.
Thank you, Member Rendon. I also want to thank, when you look at the proclamation, looking at the counseling services, the school health services, the school psychology services, school social workers that are at schools every single day. A lot of people don't realize not every school has that, but our public schools do have that. And it's really important when you look at mental health awareness, not just the mental health awareness, the prevention, the crisis response, the intervention, and just the need, because no matter what, people think you cannot really do well academically if emotionally you're struggling. And it's really important that emotional intelligence is very important, as just as important as academic intelligence. And one of the things I was looking at today, because when we talk about minorities and mental health, we have to think about all children with mental health, because the U.S. News and World Report as of May, the suicide rates among teens has doubled in the last 10 years, doubled. And the suicide is the leading cause of death for 13 and 14-year-olds. And we have to realize that this is a huge issue Prior to COVID, this was an issue, and it's even a bigger issue now. And I think one of the things that we have to do as a district is make sure that our counselors are able to work with students and they're being proactive and working with students, so that way we are not reactive all the time. We have to be proactive. Before the situation gets worse, let's make sure we talk to that child before they start cutting themselves or before it gets worse, before we have to Baker Act them. So these are really important issues. And I've been thinking a lot about this. What are the causes? Like, why is this happening? I don't think there's a single person here that hasn't been impacted in their own family, or they don't know a friend from their children's friends who aren't struggling for some reason. And I've been thinking about this a lot, and I'm going to say something. I've been looking around a lot when I've been going out, and I've noticed something. The other day I was out to eat, and I noticed some grandparents with their young grandchild, and all of them were on the cell phone the entire time as they ate. I saw like a group of young girls together, 7 of them, all of them on cell phones. I see it over and over. And one of the things that people say is often an issue here is the social media and how it's impacting young students. Right before the end of the school year, I went to a classroom and I saw a first grader with an iPhone watch. And I thought to myself, what is happening here? So I know that this is something our board's going to have to talk about in the future. And I did think this was a great time to start thinking about cell phones and what can we do? I know at Walker Middle School, during lunchtime at a middle school, there's no cell phones. Guess what? Middle school students talk to each other during lunchtime. Okay. At Adams Middle School, there's a zero tolerance with cell phones. At Adams, there is not a cell phone out there ever. I am saying, look at Pasco County. They said no cell phones in elementary. Let's start thinking about this. Let's think about what we can do to improve our schools and improve our society and help with it. Now, I know high schools. Of course, that's a big problem. But I see many private high schools that don't have cell phones. I can sometimes walk in a high school and I see a kid like they're talking like they're in the mall. I mean, we've got to think about what we can do. And it's not just bullying. It's also the amount of cheating that's happening. It's the amount of inappropriate. You want to talk about nudity and profanity? Grab a cell phone. Get into a school and take off the AirDrop and see what you see. So I think there's a bigger issue when you look at mental health, and we need to continue talking about it. But the number one group in front of us are the counselors, and we need to protect their jobs and make sure that they have time to work with students. So thank you, Ms. Perez. I know you're a big advocate, and thank you for the entire board. But I do think mental health is one of the biggest issues our children are facing every single day throughout America, and we need to do something here and continue working towards that. Thank you. Member Perez?
So I see that major part of our mental health group is in the back. Can you guys stand up for a second, please, and recognize you? Thank you. You know, I'm going to say this, and Superintendent, I know that, for Hillsborough County has been the template for Florida as far as how we're conducting our mental health and pushing it out to our students. Because if it were not for the services in our school, many of our students would not have access to mental health services. So I want to thank you. I want to thank our team for what they do for our students on a daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Perez. Members, please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. We will now go ahead and do the 501 and then go to the consent agenda after that. 501, which is the public hearing recommended instructional materials for K through 12 social studies, academic services. I will now open the public hearing for the instructional materials adoption process. This is a requirement pursuant to state law and board policy. This is an opportunity for any member of the public to speak about the instructional materials that are recommended for adoption by the board and to provide any input to the board. The materials were advertised and have been available for public review. I will now ask Terry Connor, Deputy Superintendent for Instruction, to present this item. After his presentation, any member of the public may speak to provide input to the board on the proposed instructional materials.
Good afternoon, Board Chair, Board members, Superintendent, and staff. At this time, the Board is conducting a public hearing on instructional materials being recommended for adoption. The list of materials is attached to the agenda item and includes materials for the K-12 social studies. These materials have been reviewed by a district adoption committee and are being recommended for adoption. As required by state statute, a 20-day public review of recommended materials and a public hearing is required before the Board can take a vote for the adoption. The public review requires that the district provide digital access to the recommended materials via the district website. The public review was conducted beginning on June 21st and ended on July 11th. The public hearing this evening is to provide the opportunity for the community to share comments about these materials with the Board. The Board does not need to take action at this time, but will be asked to vote at the next regularly scheduled Board meeting on July 25th, 2023. At this time, you may call for public comments.
Do we have any public comments?
Just ask if anybody
Are there any public comments? I think we have a couple individuals here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon again. I just want to thank you and thank the team that was involved in this. The titles that were selected, most of them were on the approved Department of Education list. I know that timing on that was not good. However, they did a great job selecting the material. So thank you. The AP classes don't appear to be on any type of list. So maybe FDOE will do that in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers here for that? Any other speakers? Okay, Mr. O'Connor. Okay. I will now close the public hearing.
And Madam Chair, before you go into the consent agenda, the superintendent, Mr. Connor, needs to say something before you vote on consent.
Thank you.
I think there was some comment in public comment regarding agenda item 109. 109 is on consent agenda. Those books, Mr. Connor, if I'm corrected, but those are on the approved list, correct?
They are. I think there may be a little bit of confusion. It is not recommended for a specific course, which is the U.S. History course for 8th grade advanced. We are not purchasing it for that. The course that we are purchasing for is civics, and it is approved for that particular course. And it is also a supplemental. This is not the core major tool of instruction that we're adopting, which we just listed within the public hearing. So it's kind of twofold there. It's not a major tool. We're not adopting it as a major tool. It's a supplemental, but it is also on the approved list for that particular course.
Thank you, Mr. Connor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the clarification. Okay. We will now move to the consent agenda. I need a motion, a second to approve the consent agenda. I have a motion by Member Washington. I have a second by Member Gray. Please vote when your lights appear. Oh. And it passes unanimously. I will now call on Superintendent Ayers to highlight our administrative appointments.
Thank you, Mrs. Combs. We have one principal appointment on our 401A. My first principal appointment, so this is exciting. And there he is, Mr. Corey Jackson, who is the new principal of Lockhart Elementary. Mr. Jackson is not here today. He is in the process. He is from Jacksonville, and he's in the process of moving down into the Tampa Bay area. But Mr. Jackson has been an educator for the past 22 years supporting K-8 students. Currently, Mr. Jackson has been a resident of Jacksonville for the past 3 years after moving to Florida from Connecticut. His leadership experiences demonstrate a deep commitment to academic achievement, positive student relationship, and engaging school communities. For the past 3 years, he was principal at Seaside K-8 charter schools, and prior to that, his educational experience were in the state of Connecticut. We're very pleased and excited to have Mr. Corey Jackson, the new principal of Lockhart Elementary.
Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent Ayers. The following items will now be heard. C-111, C-112, C-402, C-503, C-705, C-706, C-901, C-902, C-904, C-905, C-906, and C-1101. We'll begin with 111, which is the adoption and purchase of recommended instructional materials for high school mathematics, math for college liberal arts. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Mrs. Combe. So this is our math for college liberal arts, which has been reviewed by District Instructional Material Adoption Committee, and upon committee consensus, product selections were narrowed for a district-wide teacher review and teacher vote. The committee evaluation process ensures that selected materials are aligned with core standards and provide current, up-to-date materials for classroom instructions. Per Florida statute and school board policy, the district must provide a 20-day public review period and conduct a public hearing. If you recall, that public review period was May 30th, 2023 through June 20th, and with a public hearing conducted at our last board meeting on June 20th, 2023. That is my highlight for 111.
Thank you very much. I need a motion and second to approve item C111. I have a motion by member Washington. I have a second by member Gray. Any discussion? Member Rendon?
I just want to, clarify a little bit this, because it does get very confusing these days with which list and which part and which textbook for what purpose. And it's my understanding that although this book is not technically on the approved list, it's because of the nature of the class. And at the end of the day, that it's a small class, I should say, not small as far as numbers that are taking it, but it's not offered in a lot of areas. So at this point in time, we don't have an approved list for this particular class as it stands right now. However, as a district, we have gone through and vetted it for the standards, vetted it as we would for all of the books that are on the approved list to make sure we are meeting the needs and meeting the state statutes. Am I correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Thank you, Mr. Khan.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Board members, please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. 112, Agreement of Addendum 2291 SSD SK Xanadu Incorporated for the purchase of supplemental civics literacy books. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Mrs. Combs. This is an exciting agenda item, which is the purchase of supplemental civics literacy books. These supplemental books will enable students to learn civics literacy through the lens of their state and local community. The custom created books will infuse content that aligns with the state of Florida mandates on required instruction. They'll promote 21st century skills, including critical thinking and classroom discussion, through analysis of unique primary and secondary sources, including custom maps and authentic connections for social studies, through analysis of sources that have local and state connections. The books will be used to supplement. These books will be used to supplement adopted curriculum to fully address the new civic standards with local information and resources. They will be integrated into our instructional guides.
Thank you, Superintendent Ayers. I need a motion and a second to approve item C112. I have a motion by Member Washington. I have a second by Member Rendon. Member Rendon, you pulled this item. Do you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I just want to, take a minute to make comments on this. The staff took a lot of time and care to really create supplemental material that's going to be age appropriate, that are really looking at our state, our government, some highlights of some really great people in our state of Florida and bringing that to our students. And so I want to take this opportunity to really thank them for their due diligence as they were working through this book. And because it really was a cut and paste, right? You guys really took a lot of time to really find unique individuals doing unique things within our state. And so I think we don't always highlight on some of the work that we do in the staff. And so thank you all so much for all your due diligence and putting this book together for our students, for I believe 2nd and 4th grade students. It's really taken a lot of time and effort, and the time you took to meet with us as board members and really walk us through the process and walk us through things. I'm very happy for that. Love the fact that we highlighted the Constitution, highlighted our flag, and really gave some good education early on to our students on the civility of our country. And so thank you so much for what you took for this time.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Member Gray?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Member Rendon, for those comments. Mr. Connor, also, as a former civics teacher for many years, I love this subject. It does highlight a lot of the American so much American systems, government systems, etc. It gives us a sense of pride and ownership as to who we are in as Americans. Also, it's very relevant, the diversity. I was looking at the Hispanic, the various photos and the dialogues for our groups, such as the Hispanic groups. African American history is in there. You know, you get a glimpse of just about every minority, and with a really positive version on it. So our children will learn the Holocaust. I mean, there's so many elements that are so critical. So I'm very excited, and maybe I'll go back to teaching civics from we have this book. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gray. I just, I'm a social studies person, and we have such a great team. I just cannot go without saying what an amazing team that we have there, elementary, middle, and high school. And I think the curriculum is so exciting because as a middle school person, I think sometimes you thought, like, how come kids don't know enough about Florida or America or everything like that? The idea that it's really being taught and woven into the curriculum for elementary, I think is just amazing, and it's wonderful. The curriculum looks so great. And it's really important for kids to be reading nonfiction and to be really being able to analyze things and look at, I couldn't believe it in second grade. You could see primary sources and teaching kids like that. I think that's amazing. It's exciting, and it's what's real for students. And I just want to say thank you to our amazing social studies department. Thank you. Member Hahn?
Thank you, Chair Combs. I want to thank you also for the time you spent with each board member going through the materials. I love the primary sources, as Member Combs said. It really makes it exciting for kids. But I also just want to give a shout out also to our very own Best the Book Bus, because they made it into the book as an example of a current day bookmobile. And so I shared that with Jennifer, who's runs Best the Book Bus, and she was so excited about that. So I'm going to probably gift her my copy so that she can have a copy of the book that she's in. And so I thought that was really special, because that's, something that our students see all the time, or a lot of the times out in the community and at their schools. So that was exciting.
Thank you, Member Hahn. Members, please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. 402, Agreement for Technical Services 23123 ATS IV with Teach for America Incorporated. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Chair Combs. Board members, this is a continuation of a previous agreement we've had with Teach of America that was approved December 14th of 2021. From our district standpoint, that we have a need to partner with an organization that can help place our teachers in our difficult to staff schools. So this is a continuation of a previous agreement, again, approved December 14th, 2021. So asking approval on this item.
Thank you. I need a motion. I'm sorry. I need a motion and a second to approve item C 402. I have a motion by Member Washington. I have a second by Member Gray. Any discussion? Please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. 503, approve the changing of the mascot at Tampa Bay Boulevard Elementary. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
So this item is from Tampa Bay Boulevard Elementary, and the request from Tampa Bay Boulevard is to change their mascot. And we have Michelle Perez, the principal of Tampa Bay Boulevard. Michelle, if you want to come on up and talk us through this mascot change. Thank you, Michelle.
Good evening, Board, Superintendent Ayers. This was an item that we've been thinking about for quite some time at Tampa Bay Boulevard. In elementary school, we don't really get to celebrate the mascot too much because we don't have sports teams or things like that. But we thought, well, right behind us is the Buccaneers facility, and the neighborhood is abuzz with Bucks. We park cars for Bucks games to raise funds for our school, for PTA. So we thought, why not get something that everybody could get excited about? And I thought that this would be a unique opportunity to go forward this year with the new community that we're creating with the students that we're absorbing from JUST and our students. It's one new piece that everybody can get behind and celebrate as a new group.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you very much. Okay. I need a motion, a second to approve item C503. I have a motion by Member Washington. I have a second by Member Hahn. Member Rendon, you pulled this item. Do you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I just have some comments. I'm going to tear up because I just think this is fantastic. At the end of the day, one of the things that unites us in Tampa are our sports teams. Nobody comes out for a parade like our sports teams. And to find some way to make sure that we are one community with one goal, all about all of our students, I thought it was just super exciting to see this. And so I wanted to personally thank yourselves, the staff, because you're looking at the community. You're looking at one school united in one way and then pulling in something that everybody can relate to. Something that for Tampa Bay, we all know the Bucks. Whether you're a sports fan or not, you know the Bucks. You see the big stadium right by you. And so I just personally wanted to thank you because it takes somebody to step up and make us whole. And you are making us whole by this gesture. And I think it's wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Member Washington?
Ms. Perez, stand up, please. Go Bucks!
Go Bucks!
I love to hear it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Member Gray?
Well, since, thank you, Madam Chair, Member Washington did it, so why don't you all stand up and let's give you a hand. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, it takes a village, but what I wanted to say is, and you know, Brian Ford, the whole Buccaneer teams, they do so much for our schools, and you know that, but it's a really a dual recognition. They are giving a lot to us, and you're giving them the respect, the dignity of their name, and helping the respect go right through the students as well. So, go Bucks! Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gray. I know a year ago, you know, when District 1 at Tampa Bay Boulevard, I talked to Mrs. Perez. As the new principal, she's just doing an amazing job. And one of the things that she said that I was like, wow, she's like, you know, when those students come from JUST, I want them to know that we're one school and we're rebranding and we're uniting. And I think that's just such an amazing thing. And I think the world of the school, your faculty, your staff, everyone from the lunchroom all the way through does such a great job. And so thank you for bringing that and following and bringing this to the board. I think it's an amazing, and it just says a lot about your leadership. And thank you and for your whole team for everything that you do. Thank you. Superintendent Ayers?
Thank you, Chair Combs. One thing Ms. Perez didn't mention is you'll notice you don't have any renderings of what this Buccaneer is going to look like. Ms. Perez will have the students that are going to help come up with the design and the final product of the Buccaneers and what the Tampa Bay Boulevard Elementary Buccaneers, that mascot looks like. So when they all get there, that's right. That's right. Thank you again, Ms. Perez.
And that school is the most entrepreneurial school I know. So with their parking, so that's great. Thank you. Okay. Board members, please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. Okay. 705, approve the 2023-2024 five-year facilities work plan. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Chair Combs. So Florida statute requires each school district to develop and approve a 5-year capital outlay work plan, which is submitted to the Florida Department of Education annually. This 5-year capital outlay work plan must include a schedule of all major repairs, renovations, newly planned construction projects, class size information, and the use of portable classrooms in the school district. The purpose of this item is to provide the school board with the final uploaded 23-24 final facilities plan submitted to the Department of Education. I do have, if you have any additional questions, Lauren Otero is here, who is under Chris Farkas. And Chris is at our Florida Educational Facilities Planners Association meeting today, so that's why Chris isn't here. But Lauren is here to address any questions. If there's any questions specific to our 5-year work plan, we'll take those questions at this time.
Thank you very much. I need a motion and a second to approve item C 705. I have a motion by Member Washington. I have a second by Member Gray. Member Gray and I, we both pulled this item. Member Gray, I'll start with you. And Member Hahn too? Okay.
Yeah, I pulled the item and I mentioned to Superintendent Ayers that a workshop probably would be a very good idea because there is a lot of community involvement. If we go by the adage, community makes the schools and our schools make the community, well, we're ranging all the way from South County to South Tampa to Plant City. I mean, we will impact a lot of lives with our schools. But the cost, I mean, when we get into the Manhattan renovation is very, it's very, very expensive, and it will impact our finances. Also, a workshop, I believe, will give an appreciation to the board members what is going on in our district, a sense of pride that we are moving forward with many of these large schools. And I can't help but repeat, the community needs that kind of information as well, communities, plural. I also think that during a workshop, and this is my recommendation, Madam Chair, during the workshop we may want to merge some of the repurposing of schools. So maybe we can go ahead and talk about the 5-year plan also with the plan of repurposing. So my questions, and thanks, Ms. Otero, for coming out. There's a lot of questions, actually, and I'm not going to burden the board right now with all the questions that I can come up with. But I'll just simply say that there should be a time on our workshop schedule that we can definitely dig a little deeper. And the scope of these projects are huge. And the scope of the financial impact is very huge. So that's my recommendation. And so I'm going to leave you off the hook, Ms. Otero. I'm not going to go through the slew of questions. I'll wait for the workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Hahn?
Is that workshop on our calendar, or is that something you're going to submit?
Made a recommendation for that.
You're going to submit that?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess, that's fine. My only kind of pushback would be that we have approved every one of these, and we have discussed it upon approval. I guess if you want to look at it collectively as a whole, this obviously doesn't include every construction project that's happening at our schools, because obviously we also get updates on that through the referendum dollars. I guess my question is, for example, we just approved a K-8. And so when we do something like that, and I understand that this particular one didn't need any modifications to the building, but how does that impact how do those decisions impact the 5-year plan? Because we don't really talk about that, and we didn't talk about it even when we approved the Carrollwood K-8, or, we've got other projects that we approve. And I think it's important to understand the impact it has on their 5-year plan, because I know, the last meeting we had Apollo Beach coming, and they're now advocating for a K-8. And so I just think this plan needs to, we need to consider these 5-year plans and our 10-year plan when we're making those decisions, because at some point, my guess is that Carrollwood Elementary School is going to require an addition, or they're going to come back to us and request a gym or something that a middle school needs that their current elementary school does not provide. So, that is concerning for me when we're looking at the long-term financial health of this district, and making sure that we can provide other resources to students like, teachers and paras and special ed resources. So, if we're going to do a workshop, I think we need to have a robust conversation around that as well, so that when we're making those decisions as a board, we're not forgetting that we've already committed to a 5-year plan, and and so there's implications to those decisions, whether we're on the board in 5 years or not. Thank you.
And if I can say something, or
Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Tara. Go ahead. You can just kind of look at me and I'll know.
walking me through the process here. You bring up some very valid concerns, Dr. Hahn, and I think those would be addressed and beneficial in the conversation of a workshop. But if I could point out that the plan that you have in front of you is a draft. So what you may or may not be approving today is a draft version. It's not the final version of the 5-year plan.
When will that come?
So if it were to be approved today as the draft, it would go back to the Planning Commission and then get input from the 4 governmental entities, City of Tampa, Hillsborough County, Plant
Right.
City, Temple Terrace, and then come back to you in October.
Okay. Yeah, I just think it's important for us to think about, when we do finally approve this, that when we're making decisions around, programs, that we think about how does that fit into the 5-year financial plan, and because it all impacts the financial health, even though it's not coming out of the general fund. I understand that. This is still part, the capital piece of what we do is a very important part of the what students need to be successful. But it's a big financial investment, as we can see by just some of these numbers. It's so expensive right now to build or add on.
The cost of construction and the rising costs has certainly played a factor in what we're actually capable of doing.
Yeah.
There's a plan, but what actually gets carried out in large part driven by the increasing rise of cost and then where that growth is happening.
Yes. Well, thank you. I appreciate the draft form. Thanks.
Thank you, Member Hahn. And I think there's a couple things. I mean, first of all, I think it's like separate. We're looking at this 5-year plan where there's growth, and then we have another part where there's like repurposing schools. There's areas in Tampa where we're losing so many students, mainly in Member Washington in my area, while there's so much growth with Member Rendon and Member Hahn. So I think depending on the pockets of areas, and that's something, so just today, this afternoon, I submitted a workshop, but it was more about repurposing, what that looks like with the schools, with the properties, right sizing, and also something that's a little different is really looking at how can we, when you look at the urban core where we're losing so many teachers, when you look at just where half the teachers were sub, like how do we get the best teachers there, like looking at some kind of affordable housing or something to drive our teachers and to be innovative. So I did a workshop, I just submitted a workshop today regarding that, like how can we be innovative? What can we do to bring these teachers back in here to stay? I mean, just yesterday I was at a meeting where somebody who makes substantially more than a teacher had to leave and not live in Hillsborough or Pinellas because it was unaffordable for them and they had to live in Pasco. So we have to come up with some solutions here because someone cannot work and make $50,000 or $40,000 or $30,000 and afford to live here. And how can we do that when we have so many students and teachers in the urban core that aren't there, where you have half our substitutes? That's not fair for those students. So obviously we need to be innovative and look at that and how we can do that. And with that 5-year plan, you know, when I look at that, I kind of look at the overall district, you know, my needs in District 1, as well as some other, and I had a couple questions for you. The first one is, it's in District 3, but to represent Steinbrenner High School, although doesn't fall under my district, all the schools are under my district, right? That is a couple miles from my house. That school is very overcrowded. Our boundaries did not touch that issue that continues. I live there. I see the growth there. And there was talk about a wing, building a wing there. I did talk to the principal as well yesterday and today about that and what that looks like. And there is a need at Steinbrenner. So I have two mentions. That's the first one. Okay. And then the second mention is Alonzo High School, which is in my district, District 1, there was a lot of growth and there was a movement, and there's an IB program there. And so when they built that first building, they were promised a second floor. There is growth at Alonzo. I know they have some classrooms. It's not completely to capacity, but the IB is growing. And the ESC, the ESC teachers are floating now. So we have some floating teachers that are there as well. So those are two needs in District 1 and District 3, and I just wanted to mention that to you.
Absolutely, and understandable. Michelle Orton, she oversees our growth management department. Her department monitors anything and everything when it comes to growth in the population and where that growth is trending. Alonzo and Steinbrenner definitely are ones that are on her radar. And one of the, I guess, greatest beneficial components of this plan is it's very fluid. So as growth dictates and moves in a certain area, it may be an area that we need to address sooner rather than later as that data comes in.
So how do we go about getting that possibly on that list? I mean, one school I think has a higher need than another. How do we start moving? Because I know, as I said, my daughter graduated from there last year. Hallways are so packed. I mean, it's very hard for kids to move. It's just difficult. It's causing a lot of, it's challenges, and there's a lot of growth in that area.
So we are in a position where we're still able to add a project or projects if necessary. And then as funding comes in, impact fees keep up with that funding, and then along with the growth, determining when that would actually happen. So I would, and the limited knowledge that I have in this plan based on the information that I've received, I think during that workshop it would be the recommendation for you to add those two projects, or me to let Mr. Farkas know that you would like to add those two projects to the plan.
Okay, thank you. Member Gray? Thank you.
Well, I just found a question to ask you, but I'm looking at the revenue, and one of the reasons for when I mentioned financial impact, when I look at 2023 to 2024, so our anticipated funding is at $552 million on the totality.
Can you tell me what page you're on?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Bottom of the
It's it's the third. No, it doesn't have a page. Oh, it's page 4.
And I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
So the anticipated funding on the 2023 to 2024 is $542 million. Okay, so that would substantiate a huge financial impact. So I just wanted to make that clear. One reason for a workshop, and this goes to Ms. Johnson, how will that impact, even though it's capital, our fund balance and other funnels of money? The second, I think, to Member Hahn's point, we are going to have, when we say repurposing, such as Carrollwood K through 8, there are other schools that we will be changing the look, and that's very important that we see that on the 5-year plan as adjustments are made. The second question comes when we had the new construction costs at $16 million. So we don't know, or do we know, and Ms. Otero, I'm sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot, do we know what properties are being perhaps purchased, the new property purchases? That's on page 5. I don't know, I probably should know, but I don't know. Do I know?
What I'm aware, recent property purchased was in the Plant City area.
That's yeah, you're correct. There's one in Plant City. Actually, we have two. Well, we have one that's, go ahead, Van. We have one that's way not done yet, but one, the vocational, is coming up. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Member Gray. I was just going to say that we can, any of the questions here, we can, get feedback back to you in the nitty gritty and get these specific answers back to you.
And again, I just did what I told you I wasn't going to do, ask you questions on all this. So, but the workshop definitely, to me, can handedly happen where we talk about housing, because the model that many in Denver, as an example, Member Combs, is having affordable housing, and that's a model that's shared with the Patels right now in their school off of Fowler in that area, putting affordable housing. So it's a model that we should explore. and I mentioned that a few years ago. But that's another, instead of talking just about problems, we can talk about solutions, Member Combs, and I think it's very viable. That's something innovative, and other districts are doing it. So there's a lot, I think, and I'm putting down the workshop tenets right now. Okay, I'm done talking. So thanks, Ms. Otero.
Anytime.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Rendon?
Yeah, I think it's important that we consider the fact of overall looking at everything. Every one of our schools is adjusting and changing as we're moving through this process. My area is definitely moving fast. It's growing fast. It's overcrowded. One of the things I want to thank the department for was, you guys walk through the process. We've got other schools that are in the build coming that are outside of this 5-year plan. It would be my recommendation that if we're going to be talking with our other entities, City of Tampa, county, everyone involved, we need to make sure that they understand not just our 5-year plan, but our long-term plan. I think it's important to see that we do have other things on the books. I also think it's very important for our community to understand that our capital dollars and the purpose for our referendum was really to get our schools up to code and make sure that we are building all of the repairs that are needed. And one of the things I want to thank you for is when we started this 5-year plan with this in mind and using our referendum funds, you can look through here and 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26, all the way through 27, 28, and all of our schools are getting needed repairs, needed maintenance that were identified at the time, right? And we identified those schools that are going to need those things. And so I think that's important to know that we are identifying how we're using our capital funds, and we're maximizing them. Let's be realistic. When we look over 5 years, that referendum sounds like a lot of money. We don't have a lot of money left because of all the needed repairs, roofs, floors, so AC units. We're during that 5-year, we're redoing ACs that we started with 5 years ago. So this is not just about our new builds. This is not just about looking at, where those schools are. And, I think if we're going to be looking at a capacity issue, we need to look at a bigger picture, right? Because we really need to save our dollars to make sure all of our schools are being utilized. To me, and air conditioning is so important, right? We're going to get the calls August 10th, August 11th. We're all getting the calls that our air conditioners aren't working. But I'm going to tell you, my house air conditioner is not going to be working either because we're maximizing our time in August. It's August in Florida, people. It's just the way it is. So when you think about that before you call me, we have got them on the list. We're making sure all of our students are safe. We're making sure they have water. We're making sure we're taking care of our students. But at the end of the day, I think we need to look at our full picture and our full growth because we are maximizing in these 5-year plans of what we really need to do. And so it's important. But I'm going to make one more note when it comes to workshops. I want to make sure we take note that any workshop that has been canceled in the last 4 months is put back on the books before we start adding in new. At the end of the day, our policies have got to be looked at because that is our responsibility as board members. And we have yet to look at any policies this calendar year, and we are in month 7. We've had a workshop canceled on policies. We've not rescheduled that. We've had a second book, scheduled because of laws. We've got to make that a priority to reschedule those workshops before we add in new. And it's a priority. So we want to make sure we do that before we add in any new workshops. None of us should have to re-request a workshop that's been canceled when it's been canceled. And we have not put those workshops back on the calendar. So I'm going to ask Superintendent, make sure that's a priority before we add in new workshops, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I just wanted to clarify a couple things about the workshops. The book workshop regarding books has been pushed out because we're waiting for the state to give us direction. It would be very, we don't want to create a policy and then the DOE tell us what to do and it be a conflict. So that's why we have to keep waiting. We'll put it in. As far as like policy workshops, we have someone working on the policies all the time. The last policy cycle, nobody had any policies to bring in for the workshops. So we weren't going to meet just to have, but we do have policy workshops placed for the rest of the year, but there were no policies that were brought up at the time. If I'm right, there was nothing on that?
Board member policies.
No board member policy. There were a couple staff ones, but it was
Some already that the board.
some ready to go for the next meeting, but there were no board members. So there was enough. But we have policy workshops now scheduled for the rest of the year, and we'll continue to work on that because that is our most important job, is obviously overseeing who's the superintendent, overseeing the policies and the fiscal part. But I don't want I don't want the narrative to be that we're avoiding or ignoring workshops that board members have requested. It's because of certain situations of not having that workshop. I just wanted to clarify that, so thank you. Member Rendon?
I just want to clarify, I am the one that requested the policy workshop, and I did identify out of our sections of policies, I went through 4 sections and identified every single one that did not have an expiration date, did not have a date. So I identified policies that we were not waiting for law on, that we as a board could have reviewed. So let me make that very clear. When I submitted that, I identified policies that had nothing to do with changing laws, that we could have been in a review process so we could get them into a proper cycle.
So there are 2 cycles happening here. There's the policies that the board wants to recommend, and then Mr. McCauley has been working with an intern to overhaul all the policies, including the ones that you mentioned. That will be coming later this year. They're parallel and they're related, but I think what Chair Combs is talking about are new policies. So the parts you brought up are actively being reviewed now by the intern and by staff, and will be brought back to the board in a holistic fashion with all the policies.
That's been about a year and a half, or it's been about a year and a half that's been in place. So, okay, thank you. Board members, please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. Okay, 705, the modification to the existing agreement with 706, 706, modification to existing agreement with 34 ED LLC DBA Centegis to include asset mapping and additional functionality. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Chair Combs. So before I get into this item, first thing I want to give kudos to our Chief of Operations Facilities, Chris Farkas, our Chief Newman. This agenda item talks about asset mapping. This asset mapping just went into law July 1st. Our district continues to invest in safety and security efforts in the best possible conditions in our facilities. We're going to utilize Centegix for our asset mapping. And again, just wanted to take this opportunity. This is something that just went into law July 1st, and here we are with an agenda item July 11th. I just wanted to, again, send Chris Farkas, Chief Newman, for being on top of this. This goes into law July 1. Here we are on July 11th with an agenda item. And we'll hear, Ms. Otero and I are here for any questions.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second to approve item C706. I have a motion by Member Hahn. I have a second by Member Rendon. Member Hahn and I both pulled this. Member Hahn?
Thank you, Member Combs. I pulled it because I also wanted to just talk about how we are really ahead of the game on this, and that Mr. Farkas and his team had, they're bringing this forward just right after the law came into effect. But there's also a grant that is going to be opened very soon. And part of that grant, to complete the whole grant, is my understanding that, you have to have a partner who you're working on with doing the asset mapping. So we're already ahead of the game because now we have our partner. So now when the grant becomes live, a live link that we can go in and compete for, or apply for, because I don't think it's a competition grant. I think it's just applying to support the asset mapping. We're ahead of the game. So it's kind of a nice feeling to be ahead of the game. So I just thought maybe, we would point that out. This asset mapping is just around a new bill that It's just going to require all the school maps to face north, so that way I'm not very sophisticated around this, asset mapping, but I know enough to be dangerous. But this way, if we do have an issue at one of our schools and we need emergency response, all the maps are facing the same way, and it makes it much easier for our rapid responders to, find the critical area on campus and respond. So, the grant will help us fund the asset mapping piece of it. So. I just wanted to thank Mr. Farkas and his team for being on top of this. Thank you.
Yes, and Dr. Hahn, you're absolutely correct. Having that relationship with Centegix, being a premier leader in school safety, has allowed us to be on the forefront of getting this done very seamlessly with that relationship.
Yep, I agree. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Member Hahn. Member Rendon?
Yeah, many of our board members here, we had the privilege of being there when Senator Collins introduced this bill and now passed into law. And so I want to take this opportunity to thank Senator Collins and Representative Alvarez for, just championing student safety in our schools. I think it's important to note that they just took on the challenge that children in our schools, including their own, prioritize their safety. And so I want to personally thank them for moving forward on this, them collectively working with our superintendent and our staff to really make sure that Hillsborough County was a leader in this. And so that's really important to note, as well as, Chris Farkas and your team. At the end of the day, fantastic. Of getting this done so quickly, getting this ready. I think it's not going to be very short time. I think we're looking in the next month or two when they're going to be releasing that grant, which, for those of you that recognize what happens in government, to be able to have a bill that's going to be fully funded, to request something of a school district and fully fund it. Once again, thank you to Senator Collins and Representative Alvarez, because putting that bill together, they not only put it together, but they acquired the funds to allow us not to have additional pressure on us or use our funds that we need in our schools to make sure our students are safe. So, huge asset to us in our schools. And so I want to thank them, thank your department for everything you guys are doing to really make us to be a leader and a frontier on this. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Rendon. I also wanted to say thank you, Mrs. Otero, and to Chris Farkas and Chief Newman. I know that this program really works. I remember a year ago when I was at a school and there were several fights, and it was so quick. The reaction was so quick, and all the things that we've done to label schools clear, because we know the safety is number one. And I think that's, parents need to know that their children are safe when they go to school, and all the things that we're doing to make sure that children remain safe every day at school. I also want to take a minute to congratulate Chief Newman. Governor DeSantis appointed 3 individuals to the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Public Safety Commission, and our own Chief Newman was one of those. So that was big news, and I just want to say congratulations to him. Thank you. Member Perez?
Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth, Chair. But, when we're looking out for the safety of our students here in Hillsborough County Schools, we always get ahead of the pack. And that's what we've done here. We implemented something, and now we're getting the grant for it, to continue it. So thank you, Ms. Otero, Chris Farkas, but also Chief Newman for having the vision, to keep our children safe, our schools safe. And now, here we are being able to supplement that, but also ensure that everything is forward moving. But, and congratulations again also to, like the chair said, to Chief Newman for everything he continues to do here in Hillsborough County, but now he's going to add it on a larger scale. Thank you.
We're very fortunate to have him.
Thank you. Board members, please vote when your lights appear. and it passes unanimously. Okay. We will now move to employee input, 602 or 601. Even though we hear public comment at the beginning of the meeting, it is sometimes difficult for employees of our district to attend meetings at 4. There are many ways for employees to make their voices heard, including through union representatives, emails, phone calls, one-on-one conversations, and public comment at the beginning of the meeting. The board wants to hear from you. With this section of our agenda, we're creating another avenue for employees to speak to the board. We're setting aside 30 minutes for employees of the district to speak to the board about any issues that are on your mind. This is not intended to be a discussion about specific agenda items on tonight's agenda, but rather an opportunity for you to speak to the board about any issues related to your job or district. Each speaker will have 3 minutes. I think we just have a couple speakers tonight. Thank you.
I think it's just me tonight, Rob Crete, president of CTA. Happy to be here. Scheduled or unscheduled, when we have a change of leadership, we get the opportunity to take a look at the way we're doing things and the way we've been doing them. With that, I and HCTA, we're excited about Superintendent Ayers, his leadership and what he brings in terms of historical perspective to Hillsborough County. We've always been progressive, creative, and done things out of the box here in Hillsborough. We need to do that again. The emergency that is in front of us today are the vacancies that we're seeing a month from now as we open our schools. We cannot solve this problem in 4 weeks. However, we could do the work to start making progress on this issue. We are very excited that we've already begun negotiations. We are in the process of offering creative solutions sometimes that don't cost us a lot of money. Clearly, we have to do better for our salaries, for our teachers and our support professionals, but collectively, collaboratively, we believe that we could do that. So now is the time. We are excited and welcome Superintendent Ayers, and we'd also like to wish Superintendent Connor the best of luck down in Sarasota. So thank you all. Stay safe.
Thank you. Okay. I don't think there's any other further comment. We will continue on. We will now continue 901. Contract for educational services between Chad Chronister as Sheriff of Hillsborough County, Florida, and Hillsborough County Public Schools. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Chair Combs. Hillsborough County Public Schools provides educational services to students enrolled in the K-12 instructional program who are incarcerated in adult jails administered by Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Approximately 50 students are served at any given time by 2 dropout prevention teachers, 2 assistant teachers, and 2 ESE teachers. This ensures that students receiving educational services at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office sites will receive extended year and exceptional student education funding from the Florida Education Finance Program. This item and our next 3 items as well fall underneath Ernest Wood, who is our Executive Director for Non-Traditional Programs. We also have Chrissy Dorian, who's here. So any additional questions, myself or Chrissy or Ernest will be happy to answer those. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Ayers. I need a motion, a second to approve item C901. I have a motion by Member Rendon. I have a second by Member Washington. Member Gray, you pulled this item. Do you have any questions or comments?
Yes, and I want to thank Chrissy Dorian and Ernest Wood. Chrissy, I think it's been 30 years you've been at this. And, that collaboration with Sheriff Chronister and the judges, all for the welfare of our students. And really the absolute, I would say, benefit, not only academically and social emotionally, comes through with they're graduating. The second chance that you're giving with your youth services program are giving kids that have made a mistake in life another chance. But not just that. I mean, you are preparing them to go into the world as it is, and you're working with the sheriff, the City of Tampa Police, just those who can make and guide those children as they go through their adult life. So, I just want to say thank you for your expertise, your professionalism. And Ernest, you're doing a great job. And I know that's where your heart is. So giving kids a second chance, this is what we're doing at Hillsborough County Public Schools. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Member Gray. And I also would be remiss if I didn't say anything. Mr. Woods, you do such an amazing job. Whenever you take me to a center or showing me, I mean, your leadership is amazing. And Chrissy Dorian and Melissa Rousseau, I mean, and your team, what you do for kids in our district is amazing. Not every child has the same some children have many challenges. They're born under challenges, and they deserve second chances, and that's what you do. Both of you, your whole team works together to make sure that the kids are successful and they get second chances and they can do well. Programs like AMI, PACE, our EPIC centers, making sure if someone has some trouble over the weekend, letting those schools know how maybe someone's angry because something happened to them, right? Making sure that connection is so important. I just want to also thank all of you and your entire team for the hard work that you do. Thank you. Member Washington?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I would be remiss if I didn't say anything about Christian Woods. I go back a long ways with you guys, so I know you've always done a great job. This is nothing new to me because you've always done a great job, and I want you to continue doing a good job because what you do is so important to Hillsborough County Public Schools. But thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. Board members, please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. Okay. 902, approve the contract between Pace Center for Girls, Hillsborough Pace, and the School Board of Hillsborough County, Florida. Superintendent Dave Ayers will highlight this item. Sorry. I said Ayers.
Thank you, Chair Combs. Similar to AMI Kids Tampa.
It's Mrs. Combs. No, I'm just kidding.
Similar to AMI Kids Tampa, PACE is a day treatment preventional program that provides holistic and gender-specific prevention programming for girls who have experienced varying degrees of trauma. PACE works to keep girls from entering or going deeper into the juvenile justice system. PACE provides the facility and the personnel. The district is required to pay private providers like PACE a percent of a full-time equivalent earned, and any additional funds have been provided through specific appropriation and for supplemental allocation for juvenile justice education programs.
Thank you. I need a motion, a second to approve item C 902. I have a motion by Member Perez. I have a second by Member Washington. Any discussion? Member Perez?
So, as someone who works a lot with the court system, and I see a lot of our young folks that go through, and PACE has been around for a while, helping, especially our young ladies. There's a lot of programs that help young men, but young ladies, they seem to be stagnant when it comes to programs. And this PACE has been truly a staple in our community, especially here in Tampa. But I want to thank you because I've seen what PACE has done. Not only being a contributor to PACE, but also, seeing them come through the court system, you guys being there in the court, and being just a support, major support for our young ladies. But thank you. I just want to say thank you. For what you do for our girls.
Thank you, Member Perez. Board members, please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. 904, approve the contract between AMI Kids Tampa Incorporated and the School Board of Hillsborough County, Florida. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Chair Combs. So this is a non-residential day treatment prevention program for at-risk students. This program provides educational opportunities and affects positive behavior change that may include regular physical activities, approved field trips, and other extracurricular activities for up to 44 middle and high school age males. The students will receive academic instruction and intervention, counseling, behavior therapy, and opportunities for career exploration.
Thank you. I need a motion, a second to approve item C 904. I have a motion by Member Perez. I have a second by Member Washington. Any discussion? Please vote when your lights appear. and it passes unanimously. 905, approve the contract between AMI Kids Yes and the School Board of Hillsborough County, Florida. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you again, Chair Combs. And last item here for Ernest and Chrissy. AMI Kids Yes provides a 240-day residential dropout prevention program for 32 boys who are adjudicated delinquent by the courts and under the supervision of the Department of Juvenile Justice. AMI Kids Yes provides the residential facility and the personnel for the educational program with support and oversight by Hillsborough County Public Schools Youth Services Programs.
Thank you. I need a motion, a second to approve item C 905. I have a motion by Member Perez. I have a second by Member Gray. Member Gray, you pulled this item. Do you have any questions or comments?
Just a comment, Madam Chair. I did not share that the amount of diplomas that were given out for the 2022-2023 school year. Thank you, Ernest Wood, for getting this together. We got 44 graduates during our school year, which, again, comes from your expertise, Chrissy Dorian and Ernest, your passion and your goodwill and expertise as well. So we're getting them to graduate. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Perez?
So the Yes program it has been around also for a while, and you're being able to get these children, these students, on a good path towards graduation, and to show them something different, other than the path that they were on previously. I know that the Yes program has been around since like the 90s, right? And it's just that if it's working, it's working. To see our students being able to move through this program and get their life straight, and be able to also mentor other kids that've been in through this program as well. So again, thank you for believing in our students, having this program, and getting our kids something to believe in themselves, but also a good future for themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Perez. Board members, please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. 906, Memorandum of Agreement with the University of South Florida Board of Trustees and the Children's Board of Hillsborough County for the CARE Children-Adult Relationship Enhancement Program model. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Chair Combs. The purpose of this agreement is to align trauma-informed principals at the following school sites: Frost Elementary and Junta Middle School, by utilizing the CARE Model program, which is newly funded by the Children's Board Committee. The CARE Model provides an evidence-informed, trauma-focused school-wide initiative focusing on healthy social and emotional development and positive child-adult relationships. This item, Elizabeth Tanner, thank you for working this item, and I can answer any questions along with Ms. Tanner. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Ayers. I need a motion, a second, to approve item C 906. I have a motion by Member Perez. I have a second by Member Gray. Member Gray, you pulled this item. Do you have any questions or comments?
Yes, just real brief. First, we want to thank Kelly Paris, the Children's Board, for doing such a marvelous job in addressing our high-needs students at Junta. And well, there's one other school, and I'm sorry, it just doesn't come to my mind right now. But at any rate, the question I had was, is this teacher-friendly, this particular model? And what feedback have we gotten from the teachers on this so far? Thanks, Ms. Tanner.
Okay, it's live. Thank you, Board Member Gray. Yes, we developed this plan with the staff at Frost and Junta as a collaboration, as a student services team. We had administrators involved, psychologists, social workers, and teachers too, to really investigate and brainstorm best ways to incorporate trauma-sensitive practices at the school site.
Okay, well, thank you for that. And any other district other than Walton, W-A-L-T-O-N, district that uses this program?
So we based that type of Walton model for the request for proposals. But the University of South Florida, USF, is the one partnering with the Children's Board to implement their CARE program and a couple of mindfulness strategies. So it's following best practices with trauma, working with students that may have been exposed to trauma and providing intervention, but also providing, most importantly, staff training on the effects of trauma on student learning.
You know, it's so very important because I know that we adopted from the National Dropout Prevention Center a few years ago, and Member Perez, you were in that conference room, and I believe Stacy Hahn, Member Sahan was there as well. But the introduction of teaching teachers about trauma is so critical, and it just the adverse childhood effect is happening, ACE, to so many of our families. It just goes without measure. This is an important one, not just for these two schools, but I hope that we expand it to others. And thank you, Ms. Tanner, for your commitment and your work with the Children's Board as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gray. Board members, please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. Our final item is 1101, approve the contract service agreement with K-12 Lift. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Chair Combs. K-12 Lift equips educators with personalized data products and reporting tools designed to support administrators and teachers with information on strengths and student achievement outcomes based on instructional practice using existing data in service of shortening the distance between assessment and useful insights. Reports incorporate state assessment, local progress monitoring, course grades, and attendance data into individualized print-ready progress monitoring portfolios 3 times per year for teachers and principals at our 50 Transformation Network school. All these reports are easily accessible on SharePoint. So if you have any, this is the agenda item, any additional questions, myself or Shay McCray would be happy to answer them.
Thank you. I need a motion, a second to approve item C 1101. I have a motion by Member Gray. I have a second by Member Rendon. Member Gray, you pulled this item. Do you have any questions or comments?
No, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Board members, please vote when your lights appear. And it passes unanimously. We will now move into superintendent comments. Superintendent Ayers.
Thank you, Chair Combs. So first off, before we move into our superintendent updates and comments, I first want to just say thank you to this board for your confidence in me. And I promise one thing, that myself, my team, we will get better every single day. So I just wanted to take this opportunity, number one, to thank this board for your leadership, number one, and support as we move forward this year. It's going to be this year, as we move into my updates, we have an outstanding strategic plan in this school district. But always at the top of this strategic plan for me will always be the first item that's on my PowerPoint, which is supportive organizational culture. What we create in this school district all starts with culture, right? It starts there. The rest of the things that we're about in this school district, we're about having a safe and fiscally responsible school district. Academic excellence, but it all starts that we have an environment where everybody in this school district, there's nobody here that can do anything alone in this school district. Any job you have here, nobody can do it alone. Myself, this board, my staff, a teacher, no matter what role you have in this school district, nobody can do it alone. And that's why it's utmost important that we work together, and we always work together, and to move this school district forward. I look forward to this opportunity this school year, and I'm excited. And like I said earlier, one thing I'll say to you all is I'll get better every day. So it's just some highlights, and I'll structure my comments around our strategic plan. As you know, one of our priorities is supportive organizational culture. So you see here district staff at the Mindsets University event in St. Pete. Interesting in the middle, Alonzo and Sickle hosted a basketball camp for students grade 2 through 9. And then Roland Park staff, cool as that is, got to go to Belize for their Educator International Service Trip. This group is doing community service projects and team bonding activities. So as you can see, some of the great work our schools are doing. Students from Walker Middle School attended the FBLA National Leadership Conference in Atlanta. And Adam Lane, had an opportunity to go on social media, and if you saw Adam, new principal, we just appointed last board meeting, I think, already had a really cool meet and greet, and we had our communications team out there, and just the environment he's creating at Rogers, just a testament to our leadership. He's an example of all of our leaders in Hillsborough County Public Schools, but it was a cool event, his meet and greet, so thank you to Mr. Lane there. Academic excellence. First off, Magnet and Choice, our third and final choice and magnet application window is now open, and it's open through July 16th. So I'll make sure our families are aware of that window is open through July 16th. Scores, AP exams. We had a lot of scores that came out over the last few weeks. One is advanced placement. Take a look. We are extremely proud of our students and teachers across all of our high schools. All of our high schools offer advanced placement, and we are up 5% from 2022. So 58% was our exam pass rate, up from 53%. So you can see just some of the savings, potential savings, that over $11 million potential cost savings to HCPS families across 29 sites. And being a high school principal, those who've been out there, to pass an AP exam is just, as I mentioned, it is hard work. It's not easy, and we have to have that teacher in that classroom that is pushing hard every day. And I just wanted to take this opportunity across all of our high schools, thank all of our teachers everywhere. In this case, our AP teachers, for pushing that pass rate up 5% to 58% is really outstanding. Some of the other notes there, 13 of our high schools saw an increase in pass rate, and 10 high schools saw an increase in AP exams given in 2023. We also had our IB scores that just came out. 356 IB diplomas were just awarded. Those came out on July the 5th. So we had 356 students that, these are IB seniors now, and I didn't realize this till later on, but that IB diploma qualifies our students for full Florida Bright Futures due to their IB diploma. So regardless of SAT score or ACT score, if they have their IB diploma, they are awarded a full Bright Futures. And some of the other things across the bottom there. But a total potential $8 million just in Florida Bright Futures for our IB scores, IP pass rate. So I want to take a minute. We've all had a chance to review some of our ELA and math results. So I want to remind everyone that these scores these are new standards. This is a baseline year for Fast ELA, Fast Math, and Best EOCs. So I want to take an opportunity just to kind of review some of our data. But remember, what's exciting about this state assessment now is that there's three basically windows. We have a PM1, a PM2, which are formative, which means they're used for instruction, and then finally PM3, which is the summative overall results. So if we take a look at grades 3 through 10, just the top on the yellow there, you'll see that when our students took their assessment at PM1, which is around October, we had 31% of our students that were on grade level at that time. So you can see from October through then end of school year, May, that number jumped to 48%. So we had a 17% increase in overall proficiency from October then through end of year for PM3. You can see some of the other lists for grades 3 through 10. Remember, grades 3 through 10 is our ELA assessments. So you can see some of our comparisons there from our district for PM3 as compared to the state. So some things that we're proud of, but also some great opportunities for us in this school district, as this is a baseline year, and as we go into school grades next year, we have a tremendous opportunity to show some great growth moving into next school year. Same for math. You can kind of look and see if you looked at, and really if you look at PM1 for district and state, so 12% for grades 3 through 8, when they took that PM1 assessment, the FAST PM1 assessment in October, 12% proficient, that number moved all the way to 54%. Again, that's the work of all of our classroom teachers, our leaders, everyone that supports our students. So from 12% to 54%, a 52% increase from PM1 to PM3. As you look down grades 3 through 8, remember it's only grades 3 through 8 for math because 9 and 10 is our algebra and our geometry end of course exams. You see we have areas of opportunity as you look at how we are compared to the state. So we have some growth areas again similar to ELA. We have it in mathematics as well. So excited about this opportunity make some growth. And then finally, our algebra and geometry. Want to shout out to our algebra. We, in our algebra end of course exams, district was 54% as compared to the state of 50%. So we had a 4%, we were 4% above the state average for our algebra and end of course exams. So shout out to all of our 8th, 9th grade teachers teaching algebra 1 end of course exam, did a great job as a 54% level 3 and up. And in geometry, we're at 48% equal to the state. Next in our strategic plan, we have our exceptional talent. So just want to highlight a few things that's happening out there. So really, it's about, and we heard Mr. Creek kind of mention it, our recruitment campaign, our teacher vacancies. So what are we doing? These are our teacher and bus driver recruitment campaign, our billboards, signage, TV streaming ads. You can see some examples there at the baggage claim at TIA. So just some of the efforts that's happening. Also, digital kiosks, HARP bus ads, Google ads, and retractable banners. Ms. Combs, you had mentioned about Chief John Newman, so I just wanted to give him a shout out. Chief John Newman just was recently appointed to the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Public Safety Commission. We are so lucky to have John on our team, and just wish what a great honor, not only for John, but for this entire school district that we have someone from ACPS that's on this commission. So thank you, John, publicly for all you do every day. And finally, Ms. Rennan, I think you had mentioned also some of our capital sales tax referendum dollars. Here's an example for our transformation schools. So this is some of our media center refresh projects. So we have 5 to 7 schools completed each year. Here's some pictures of, look at the Potter Elementary new media center that they're working on right now. So I'm gonna have to head out there and take a look, but look sharp. But that is our capital, our sales tax dollars at work. So this 7-year project, again, it's 5 to 7 schools completed each year. Here's some pictures from Potter. And then as a whole, so here's phase 2, and then phase 3 begins in August 2023. You can see some of the schools that are listed there. And then just a summary, I mean, this is some of our, we talked about it this evening, our 5-year work plan. So just some of the highlights that are part of that 5-year work plan. And those are my comments, so thank you, Chair Combs.
Thank you, Superintendent Ayers. Thank you. We'll start with Member Washington.
Okay. First of all, thank you, Superintendent Ayers, for your support of the organization, John. Cultural, positive. That's what we're dealing with now, positivity, and I really appreciate that. You sound like a coach now instead of a superintendent. So, you know, I'm not going to keep you long because I don't want to talk a long time, but I just want to thank you so far for what you have brought to the culture of Hillsborough County. You really have changed the dynamics in a essence. I don't know how it'll be 3 or 4 months from now, but you know what? We got you back. We're going to help you. We're going to work together. You got a great team. You got all the people here that we need to be successful in all ways. And always, in all of the ways, the board is here. Some things you may not be able to accomplish, but we can. Your staff, you move people around, put them in positions to make them be successful. And that's what it's all about. It's all about. Sometimes change is great. And this is one of the times I believe change is great. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to keep talking. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Member Washington. Member Perez.
Thank you. First, I want to talk, Board Member Hahn. I thought about you when I went to do this visit. It was Hannah House Veterans Ranch, and they, are busy, housing our veterans. But one of the things that really stood out to me is that they have an area for families. Yeah, and they were established in 2014, and they started a foundation in 2018. But they provide supportive housing to 34 men, women, and families. And, part of that capacity is providing, a space for our families from here, from our schools. And I just wanted to give them a shout out. They did a soft opening last weekend, and it was attended well. And, I just wanted to speak to them. Also, Tampa CRA, the East Tampa Community Revitalization Partnership, is having their second annual Health, Education, Social Services, and Public Safety Community Fair, Saturday, July 15th at Middleton High School. And that's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And they're going to be, providing education on blood pressure. They're going to do blood glucose, cholesterol screening, chronic illness and cancer prevention, gun violence sessions, and they're going to have some giveaways, and lunch will be provided. If that's not an incentive, to get out there, I don't know what is. But and I'll be out there speaking as well. Also, Superintendent Ayers, I love that you are providing a new space for our staff. I've heard nothing but good things in the community about you. Very positive feedback from the staff, the community, and I want to thank you for that. Just in a week, in 2 weeks, they've just been providing a lot of good feedback. But my question to you, with this district results, that I would like back from you. There was a national report that's showing that it's just not here in Hillsborough County, it's just not in Florida, that test scores have declined 7 points in reading and 14 points in math nationally. It ranged between 4 points to 3 to 4 points between middle and higher performing students, and 6 to 7 points for lower performing students. I'm concerned. I was with a group of students yesterday, and they were speaking to me about the fact that they still continue not to have access to tablets, to laptops, and they continue to share, these technologies. And these students are in our lower socioeconomic, population. I have an issue with this. The mathematics also, the students 12 to 14 points lower, nationally. And I would like to see from you a plan as far as how we're going to make up for these losses. And I know it just didn't happen yesterday. I know this just didn't happen. This is because of the pandemic. We're starting to see, these declines. And how are we going to, and it has nothing to do with our teachers, but it's that learning loss that we had because, something happened. Something happened in our nation, something happened globally, and we just need to get our students back on track. So can you speak to that for a second, please?
Sure. What I'll say to that is our strategic plan will continue to drive us in all our daily decisions. And as you started talking about achievement gap, in our priority 1 of academic excellence, our objective 2 is closing the achievement gap. That is a priority for the school district. And part of that is establishing an educational environment that fosters strong instructional practices. And that is high quality instruction for all, which talks about tier 1 instructions. We've had some issues that we've had to work through, but number 1, it is about having a high quality teacher in every single classroom. And those are part, if you look at some of our results and some of the subgroup data you mentioned, we see that in our data as well. So you mentioned national data, we see some of those same trends with us, but it goes back to high quality instruction. But before you do that, it's in our schools, and our school leaders right now are diving into the data, looking at all that. Before you get to all that though, it's about having in your school environment, that environment where everybody cares about the success of every student in that school. It starts there. So in creating that environment, then we can kind of dig down in a little bit deeper and talk about the Tier 1 instruction. But it's creating that strong environment within each of our schools that I know we're going to do this year.
And you're already changing that environment, so I want to thank you for that. And Mr. Connor, thank you for all that you brought to this district, and congratulations on your new ventures. And I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, Member Perez. Member Hahn?
Oh, what happened to me?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I don't know where you are.
Yeah.
Okay, Member Gray. We'll do Member Gray.
Well, at any rate, thank you, Madam Chair. And just to piggyback Member Perez, I want to also thank Terry Connor for all the work you've done. And for who you are, and we wish you great success in Sarasota. Don't be surprised if you get a visit. My son and our family goes there frequently. And Mr. Connor, while I'm on it, talking about the scores, I hope that you relish with the African American Task Force and the work that they have done with the Brain Bowl, certainly what you have done with the curriculum. The students increased their performance by 14 percentage points in ELA. This is our African American students. 14 percentage points in ELA, 33 percentage points in math, and 4 percentage points in grade 5 science. So there was work that we did, and I know there's other factors, but by golly, you were in the heart of that. And I thank our African American Task Force. Likewise, Hispanic students increased performance by 39 percentage points, and 15 points an increase in ELA, and thanking our members of the Hispanic Forum, and other factors, but it does take that type of leadership and commitment from staff members such as yourself, Mr. Connor. Van Ayers, you're a leader. When you succeed, we're all behind you. When you succeed, our district will succeed. And that's how it is with leadership. We intend to support your staff and what you do, your innovative spirit. So keep up the great work. Also, we had, and Pablo, you can get ready. I don't know, sometimes Pablo disappears in the back there. So is he there? Aha! Okay, so Pablo, let's go ahead and start with that wholesome church slide. We were at the health fair, and I know, Member Perez, you gave some contributions as well. That health fair had over 500 families going through the health services, but most importantly, the addressing, and Children's Board did the same, addressing the House Bill 1617, the immigration, how it affects the families in South County, Waimama specifically, and also at the same time offering them the business services, giving them children the backpacks, healthy foods only. They only locally grown foods. So Pastor Collars, there we are. We want to say thank you so much, and he's always out there giving and giving. Also thanking the Children's Board for them being out there, as they always are, wherever the need becomes real, and it certainly is real out there. Also, do we have any more slides? Okay, done. Also want to thank Dr. Ross and her nurses and all her hard work. We were at Leonard for the health fair. Every year we go, but the University of Tampa and USF provided doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, our own nurses. All this is to say free physicals, eye exams, immunizations, the whole 9 yards for those families. This is free to get themselves ready for the new school year. And Dr. Ross, I don't know where you are in this universe, but thank you very, very much. You're always giving the necessary health needs. Also, the going back to Waimama again, the Enterprising Latinas, starring Liz Gutierrez and Elena Cintron, put on a wellness fair. And what we did, and I say we, what Melissa Magado, Jessica De La Prida, Drucy Diaz, they advertised our dual language programs. Then we had free health services for all the families. Business folks came out there and offered them education on how to do a loan application and all the other details. But there's just a lot of great collaboration out in South County. Thank you again, Mr. Connor, for your commitment. I will not forget you and what you have done for this African American Task Force. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Hahn?
Thank you, Member Combs. I just have a few things I want to address. One is the email that went out today by Mr. Gibson to one of our constituents who emailed us about the 100 books in our schools. And I'm disappointed because this whole wait and see mentality is kind of getting old, because I believe there are things that we can do to at least show good faith and transparency, such as I know we're waiting on the State Board of Education to meet and create a new form for challenging books, but to show some good faith, we could take our existing form and put it on the front page of our website. Because right now it's nowhere on our website that I can find, and it's supposed to be easily accessible. And then once we get the new form from the State Board, we can update that. The other thing that we can do is update our process and procedures internally. I'm looking at it right now and nothing has changed. But what we can put up there is we can update them that once you submit a challenge, the district has 5 days to remove the books until the challenge is reviewed. That could be updated immediately. And then once the State Board of Education in the next couple of weeks talks about the whole the piece around getting a special magistrate, then we can update it again. But I think to just continually tell the public for over a year now, well, we're waiting. That just really seems like an excuse at this point to not want to do anything until the DOE comes in here and smacks our hands. And I'm kind of tired of getting our hands smacked by the DOE because we're just digging our heels in. Instead, we should be showing some good faith of moving forward so that the DOE can see that. I don't know why it seems to be lost that it's important to have a really good relationship with the DOE, because obviously if our schools are going to be strong and if we're going to get the resources we need, and this is just a little way to show some good faith. So I was really, really disappointed in that email. The data. Oh, we had some great movement in a positive direction. Talk about a need for a workshop. I'm a data geek, so maybe y'all don't want to sit through a workshop, but I'd love to sit with staff and talk more about this and really dig into it. You know, I've been committed since day one on this board to early childhood education. I have worked really hard to raise the profile of the importance of early childhood education. I have really worked hard in helping families understand where they can access high quality early childhood education. And when I look at the data on the PM data, and I see that we are below state standards, I trace it all back to early childhood. When I look at 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade scores, I'm thinking, I bet if we looked at the schools where this was happening, we could correlate it with our kindergarten readiness numbers. We have got to go back. I mean, I can't stress enough the importance of a strong early start. And then when I look at, some of the scores through middle school and high school where we're, struggling, I go, you know what? That if you don't have that strong early start, you're going to struggle in 2nd, 3rd, 4th. You're going to struggle to the time you leave high school. It's very hard to catch up. Many of us on this board appreciate the importance of early childhood education. And so I would love to either do a workshop or sit with staff to talk more about and dig into this data and see. I'd like to know which schools are the ones that are struggling, because not every school has these scores. So which ones are they? Are they in the all in the Transformation Network? I don't think so. So where are they? Because look what happened there. We didn't talk about scores until we were going to close it. It was too late. Let's not let that happen to one more school. Let's start talking about kids again and not all this other stuff that distracts us. So the last thing, Pablo, could you show the slide? Again, trying to raise the profile for early childhood education. We're doing a summer bash. We're partnering with the Early Learning Coalition to get providers there. We've used early kindergarten readiness data to identify the 6 schools up there. And Guided is going to be there to help parents navigate, where their schools are and how to apply for them. Or ELC is going to be there giving out vouchers. So it's on the 22nd. We hope folks come out. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Hahn. Member Rendon?
I know, I'm like, how do you follow that? But Stacy's all excited. Member Hahn. But anyways, I know. At the end of the day, I think this entire board feels the same way. We want to make sure that we're capturing exactly what's happening in our schools, right? There's positive and then there's negative, and we want to make sure we capture that negative and what we're doing right, and making sure what we're doing right is in all of our schools. What we're doing right transforms across the board. And so I think not just seeing this larger piece of data, but really breaking it down. And if we're not going to do a workshop on it, maybe bringing it to the individual board members on a collective basis so that we can understand what you guys are doing to do it. I know that as a staff, you guys are just as focused as we are to making sure that our students get the best education they can possibly get. My daughter's one of those that have suffered for the COVID issues. She was in Algebra 1 during the year of COVID. And so her math since then has just suffered because she lost that foundation in Algebra 1. So every math after that, she has struggled. I can't imagine being a kindergarten or first grader at that time. And we're now seeing that in our scores, right? So what are we doing to stop it? Because if we don't make a jump right now, it's just going to snowball. And so I, for one, would like to at least have staff provide us with what's next. What are we looking at? Again, I think Dr. Hahn has a great point of what are the schools struggling, and then what are not, and why. What do we do to bridge that gap? Where are we at with the bridging the gap? I think it's critically important to do that. Superintendent, I reached out to you about this new law that went into effect as of July 1st, House Bill 1069 regarding the books. I think that Dr. Hahn is correct. We can be proactive here and recognize that we don't need the public to tell us if something is inappropriate in our schools. We need to own it. We need to take responsibility. If they have identified a book, we don't need to wait for them to provide a piece of paper. We can look at what they are. We can look at what's going on. We can do our own review. We don't have to do that. And we don't need the DOE to tell us to do a review of our own materials. We've chosen them. We take responsibility for them, and we need to own them, and how that looks. And I think that's up to our staff to take that process and move it quickly. And then I'm going to reiterate, when it comes to policies, when it comes to our workshops, we need to be more proactive. We need to make sure that if we're going to cancel one, that we bring back another one that was canceled. Or if we're going to cancel one, there's a list of things that we could do in a workshop. And we can do that, if they're going to be canceled, maybe go out collectively to the board of what we can do, because we've got a lot of time that we could be doing and working on something. And so I think that that's important to bring to mind. And on a very positive note, number one, thank you, Superintendent, for walking with me in the very hot July 4th parade in Brandon. It was very hot, but we did very well. Superintendent Ayers, we're going to work with him on keeping up the pace on the parade route. Everybody wanted to say hi. Everybody wanted to shake his hand. So we're going to keep him in parade mode here for a while. But on top of that, I really want to recognize some of our alumni from our schools. This last weekend and Sunday into Monday was the MLB draft. And we have 3 alumni that went in the first round of the MLB draft. So I want to make sure that we take a moment and highlight them. And the number 10 went to the Marlins was Noble Myers from Jesuit High School. Number 18th went to the Milwaukee Bruins was Brock Wilkins from Bloomingdale High School. Gonna go for Bloomingdale. And the number 20th in the draft for the Blue Jays was Arjon Nimala, I believe I pronounced it, from Strawberry Crest. So, that is just an additional level when it comes to our students. We're talking about high school athletes, college athletes, working on their academics, so focused. But to see 3 of our alumni go in the first round of the MLB draft is just fantastic. So I want to make sure we take into account and highlight those students and what they're doing after the fact. So again, thank you. And, Mr. Connor, thank you so much. What you have given our schools will never be replaced. And so thank you, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Member Rendon. I wanted to say a couple things, regarding, we were talking about books and things like that. We need to look what's going to happen 5 years from now, 10 years from now. This is America. There's a process. We just don't take books out. So I want to say something. Pinellas County, they took out a book, Bluest Eye, and guess what? They put it back in because there wasn't a process. They took 80 books out. Now there's tons of newspaper articles. Fact is, and this was just confirmed, there's only been 2 challenges in this district. So there needs to be a clear narrative. And this was confirmed while I'm sitting here. How many challenges have their books? How many book challenges are there? There's so many bad books in there. How many books? 2 books. Because the idea, it's not what I'm worried about what's sitting there now. I'm worried about 10 years from now, 5 years from now. Who's to say? Some of the books there are classic books. Who's to say? We need to have a process. And that process needs to abide by the Department of Education, and we need to abide by the law. We are not going to just start taking books out because one special interest group or another special interest group, who knows who the next is. Fact is, 2 books have been challenged. Let's hear from the DOE. Let's make sure we challenge. I'm not going to decide this book is okay here, but it's not okay here. This parent, that parent. At the end of the day, nobody wants pornography in schools. Nobody wants phones in schools. There's a lot of issues in schools. Books are not, it scares me. Books are not the enemy, because what you're finding is 1st and 2nd grade teachers who now will not have school libraries in their classrooms because they're scared of this narrative. So I obviously do not want any profanity in schools, but I want a process that's going to be here 6 months, a year, or 2 years. We can't just have anyone choosing, hey, I don't like this book, but I want this book. No, let's have a process. 2 challenges. That's all there's been. Okay. And one of the challenges went through and the book was taken out. Okay. So the process works. Let's let the process work until we hear the DOE. And so, it has nothing to do with, agenda or anything like that. It has to do with making sure that, that we're doing things that are not going to put us liable for lawsuits. We're not going to be like surrounding districts. They're taking books in and out where there's issues. So we need to look long term at that. And I just want to say, we have a month away from school. The biggest challenge is the academic challenges we have. The biggest challenge is the 1,000 openings that we have when there's nobody in the classroom. I just feel like we waste a lot of time and energy. But the factor is, at the end of the day, the one thing, Superintendent Ayers, that I am most excited about you is really not your communication, not your dedicated hours, not even how you're improving morale. To me, you are very student-centered. And that is the most important thing, is students. We talk about so many things on this board, but we need to talk about academic achievement, safety, and making sure kids are moving. I'm not happy with these scores, but I know that our teachers, our principals, our academic service team is working very hard. Many of the changes that we made, it's going to take 2 or 3 years to see those. Those phonics changes that we made it's going to take a couple years for that to do. But the most important thing is having those classrooms filled with certified, high-performing teachers. And that's the most important thing. And to continue to push the love of reading for all children. And then I just want to say thank you to Superintendent, Addison Davis, and also the entire team to really move Future Career Academy ahead, because the new House Bill 7051 came through that every school has to have some type of, experience with workforce development, but we're already doing that. We're doing so many wonderful things here. Let's continue focusing on the work. Let's continue focusing on the students, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.
So it's a really widespread team effort that